a warning?
There ain't nothing to worry about.
I'm worried that you work in an office. Have children. Celebrate wedding anniversaries. The world of heterosexual is a sick and boring life.
There are some prize tomatoes in that tin can. Could feel it in my nuts. You and your nuts.
You kids think you own this beach. Think it's a teenage world. Well, you're dead wrong. Can I help you with that?
Have I been acting strange lately? Who do you have to get a hot dog in this dump?
What?
Soleado por la mañana al mediodía.
A surfer chick with a split personality. Should I unpack my bongos? I intend to unpack mine.
All right, guys, come on. That's enough. What the hell is that?
Help me.
I hate to say this, but I think our little chipper may be the butcher at Malibu Beach.
Strange that the victim had only one testicle stuffed in his mouth.
Well, that's because he only had one. Plenty of meat. Only one potato.
A little sex.
I believe this is what you young people call a gangbang.
A little sin.
I'm a bad boy.
Bad boys get spanked.
A little psycho.
Kiss my ass, monkey.
Party till you drop. Dead.
I hope you put some Bactina in that scratch.
Pyscho Beach Party.
That's the most exciting story idea I've heard in years.
Welcome back, listeners.
Welcome back.
You guys, this is very exciting. We are back for a new season.
It's a very special premiere of Movies That Made Us Gay. Season 8?
It is season 8, and you know, that sounds like, I mean, it is a long time.
Because we haven't quite been doing it for 8 years.
No, well, there was no season 0.
No.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
When it comes to this kind of thing, television series, podcast series, seasons, there was no season 0. Season 1 was our first year, so this is our going into our 8th year.
Yeah.
Doing the show. Listeners, I hope you're ready. We've got a really fun episode lined up for you.
Very special guest, fun movie to talk about.
Yes, indeed. So sit back and I hope your AirPods are in. My name's Pete.
And I'm Scott.
And these are the movies
that made us gay. Well, we have to get right into it. We have a very special guest on the podcast, the director of the movie that we are talking about today.
Yes, indeed.
Bob King.
Thank you.
Welcome to the podcast, director of Pyscho Beach Party.
Your apartment just made me gay.
Too
late.
we didn't put away all the
Am I allowed
the queer
to describe
art.
the? I mean,
yeah, feel free.
There's a female trouble poster. Like the minute you walk in the door, my favorite John Waters, his masterpiece.
Oh, absolutely.
I think. And just all kinds of great things. Every corner you look at, there's something that awakens something inside me that wants to be felt.
I love it. We do love a tchotchke here at Movies That Made Us Gay
We like
headquarters.
to upgrade to at least framed art and not quite the college poster just tacked on the wall.
Yeah. It's a little slightly more elevated than a college dorm room, but And yes, I mean, Female Trouble. It is John Waters' magnum opus, and Divine is watching.
Always watches over us.
I used to have the scene where Taffy walks in on Dawn and her husband and Gator. Oh, look at you two caught right in the very act. Isn't that a pretty sight? It has the greatest line of dialogue ever written. Do you want to? Well, I'll just work up to it. Taffy, go to your room. Anyway, there's less than a father. You're not my father, you disgusting hippie pig. And I wouldn't get near a bed that had been defiled by the likes of you two. I'd sooner jump in a river of snot. Well, then go kill yourself, Taffy, and do us all a favor. Hey, Taffy, baby, why don't you suck your daddy's dick? And then comes the greatest line ever written. I wouldn't suck your lousy dick if I was suffocating and there was oxygen in your balls.
I love it.
So good.
Oh my gosh.
So, I mean, it just comes up all the time.
She also he asked her a question at some point, like, what'd you do today, Taffy? She said, writing a book, hippie.
Writing a book, hippie. Yeah. And that great mink delivery. Yeah.
And there's also the scene when like Aunt Edie laments that he's straight. You know, like, why can't you meet a nice beautician and have a nice beautician? Gay people or straight people are so boring.
That is what introduces every single episode.
That's the intro to. That's
Are you
the intro
serious?
to this show.
Oh my god! Well, thanks for doing my research.
The life of a heterosexual is a sick and boring life.
She used to live in Venice. I lived in Venice, and when for 19 years, and she was when she had her thrift stop, and she was always around, like, and loved to talk.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah, John, we've taken to watching the DVDs with John's commentary, and sometimes it's more funny than the movie.
Yeah.
Because he'll just tell stories.
John Waters they showed Pyscho Beach Party at the Provincetown Film Festival.
Sure.
And at a drive-in. And he introduced the movie.
Love it.
And I got to meet him, and it was one of the great moments of my life. Because if you want to talk about movies that make you gay, I don't know if they made me gay, but they definitely made me happy that I was gay.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know?
Yes,
because
indeed.
gay people really are better in a lot of ways. I mean, they just are. And I think that you know, thing you play at the beginning of the show, that little bit of dialogue is so true.
No, it absolutely is. You know, sometimes you just have to sit back and think like, oh my God, this is so much fun.
Yeah.
I didn't choose it.
Right.
If I had to do it over again, I would do it over again the exact same way.
Yeah. I mean, come on. Being queer is like it's so much better.
Well, you know, there's just you get to do a lot of fun stuff, and also there's a level of sophistication that maybe comes with the struggles that we all go through just to be ourselves.
Absolutely. Bob, thank you so much for coming on the show. This is going to be a really great episode, I can already tell. Yeah. Like we were saying off mic earlier, we got a really great reaction from the listeners.
This movie is beloved.
Posted that Pyscho Beach Party.
It's been 25 years.
It's been 25 years. I mean, yeah, and just watching it, just sitting back and watching it, and just seeing all these faces like come across the screen, we're just like, oh my gosh.
It's so much fun.
So many, like, early Amy Adams, like, we're just
it was her second movie.
Yeah.
Yep, after Drop Dead Gorgeous,
Correct.
Yeah.
I'm still of the mindset that anything after 2000 isn't old, too. Because I still remember being in high school and just kind of seeing the release date 2000, and it seems so futuristic.
Yeah.
A movie coming out in the year 2000. So I still think this feels like it came out like 5 years ago.
You know.
Awesome.
I mean, the 90s were 8 years ago, so
right,
it has to be. Yeah, this is pretty recent.
Gay math.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there you go. Gay math. Scott, we have some questions at the top of the show. That
let's get the formal introduction out of the way.
Sorry about that.
We're talking about Pyscho Beach Party.
Yes, indeed.
Directed by Bob King, written by Charles Busch, debuted at the Sundance Film Festival January 23rd, the year 2000, and went on to its very limited release August 4th of the year 2000. Bob, welcome to the show.
Oh my God, round of applause. I love the applause.
Is this one of the first times on our show that we have had the director of the movie on for their episode? I think it might be.
Yes, because Darren didn't review Jawbreaker with us.
No.
He reviewed Terms of Endearment.
Yeah. We've discussed other movies with Darren, but never.
I'm happy to discuss other movies.
Yeah.
That's no problem.
Sure, yeah. I mean, we could talk all night about female
We really could.
But, yeah, I mean, like you said, it's been 25 years since Pyscho Beach Party was unleashed upon all of us. I remember just kind of hearing about this movie, reading about it, and just kind of going out and doing my due diligence, and just like, I need to watch this. I need to see what all the fuss is about.
I always remember reading movie magazines at the time, kind of Premiere. I remember getting Movie Line magazine and kind of reading about the cast, and just you always saw Pyscho Beach Party just kind of mentioned with this new young Hollywood that I always saw Pyscho Beach Party. Just kind of, they all made this movie in the summer of 2000.
I mean, it is a very talented cast, for sure. I mean, they were all and they had to be because they're doing Charles Busch. You can't,
Right.
it's not it's word for word. Like if you change a word, the joke falls flat because it's so period and the energy has to be right. And there's a whole wonderful school of actors who kind of make it their own, but not necessarily by memorizing the dialogue. And those they just couldn't be part of this project because you can't make this. You have to sort of do what the script says. Otherwise, it's a big mess.
Right, absolutely. And I mean, this did come from a stage production that Charles Busch wrote.
It's very different than the stage production. So it's kind of a funny story. I was Charles and I had the same manager. He had given me his name was Jeff Melnick, and he gave me a script to read that I really loved. Strand, I had a relationship with because Strand Releasing, who is John Garrins and Marcus Hu produced the movie, and they were starting up a production arm as part of their distribution company, Strand Releasing, which is still, a great home for independent cinema, queer cinema, all that stuff. Like they are really ground zero. They're kind of the last truly independent distributor around, and they have a website and all that stuff, and all my movies are on there. They wanted to make a movie. They wanted to make a movie with me. I wanted to make a movie with them, and so I read the script. I'm like, this sounds great. I showed it to them. They really liked it. It was written by a guy to star in drag, but I didn't want it. I didn't think that was the best way for that movie to be made.
Sure.
And that's kind of what got sold. We had a meeting. I showed up to the meeting on time, and the guy who wrote it had been there for 45 minutes pitching Canadian directors to the producers of the movie. And they're like, the only reason you're here is because we want to make a movie with Bob. And no, you can't star it in a drag. And like, get the fuck out of my office. And I got there just as all that was happening.
Okay.
And so Jeff, in his infinite wisdom, said, well, I know a project that was written for a guy to star in drag who doesn't want to star it in drag anymore. What about Pyscho Beach Party?
Yeah.
And so I said, well, let me I read, I knew the play. I vaguely sensed that there was no plot. So I read it and I was like, let me talk to Charles because I don't want to go in there and pitch something that I think there's a way to make this work.
Yeah.
But I don't want to go in there and pitch something that he doesn't want to write because no one can write Charles Busch but Charles Busch.
Yeah.
And so he and I had this hour-long phone call where I was like, well, it's a movie, Charles, so we have to have a plot. What if the ritual pubic hair shavings were murders? and then he starts saying, well, and what if Chiclet thought she did the murders, and then the audience can think she did the murders, but I said, but then it can't. And we're literally finishing each other's sentences, and like that was going to be, it was so just, it was one of those great meeting of the minds where little, and so I pitched this to John and Marcus. They loved it. And suddenly we had this movie, but I had to go to New York to work with Charles to, get a script out of it.
Yeah.
And I was a little nervous at that point. And we had this meeting at Strand where it's like me and John and Marcus and one of the other investors, and we're all sitting around, and everyone had read the script, the play the night before, and all of us realized like, this is impossible. You can't make a movie out of this. And it was like this, like going off to like fight, D-Day or something. Well,
yeah.
Good luck in New York, man. Hope you make it back.
Sure.
and I land in New York. I will finish the story. And we land in, I go see Charles.
Yeah.
And my big fear was like, he knew where every joke in that play was. He, had great success with this project.
Yeah.
And I was nervous that he'd be married to all that. And instead, what I found was like the most resourceful, creative partner you could ever wish for.
Yeah.
And he, his writing had changed over the course of, I think it had been 12 years or something like that. He had grown as a writer. He wasn't married to any particular piece of material that was in there.
Yeah.
Although there was a lot that we did preserve, especially the scene where Marveland tells, or or where Marvel asked Starcat what he does when they're alone. Like that scene, we didn't change a word.
Okay.
On. But maybe we did. We added stuff. But I mean, there's a lot of moments in there that are still from the play. But it was just this great experience, and we were all really happy with what came out of that. And we're still friends to this day, and he's just one of my favorite people.
That's amazing. I mean, yeah, it's like, I guess if you have this opportunity to turn your stage production into a movie, it's like I would assume that a good writer and would say, hey, let's do it, and let's do what we can to make it work.
Well, he's also super crafty, so he wanted a part for himself.
Yeah.
Like part of the deal was we didn't want to make the movie without Charles playing something.
Yeah.
And so he realized he'd been cut out of Addams Family 2.
He has a brief scene at the wedding, and
he shot for a while, but in
Yeah.
movies, I'm sure it wasn't that he wasn't funny. It's probably just plot or timing or whatever it is. There's a lot of reasons why things get cut, but he didn't want to see that happen again.
Sure.
And he knows in a detective movie you cannot cut out. In a murder movie, you can't cut out the detective. So he created this role for himself that was inextricable by means of editing, and so that's where that came from. Yeah.
Captain Monica Starr.
That's my favorite character of the entire movie. I love her.
Well, of course, it's a Charles Busch play.
Yeah.
the crazy policewoman outfit, like the uniform and the hat. It's great.
I mean, and he has some of the best dialogue in the movie for sure.
Yeah, that super specific Charles Busch delivery. Like it's there's nothing like it, and oh my god, it's just so funny every time.
Yeah.
It just kills me.
They did a screening at the IFC in New York over the summer for the 25th anniversary, and you knew it was going to be a Charles joke because people start laughing before he says the line because they all remember the line. They know it's coming, and I think their experience of laughing at it is so, I don't know. I know when I watch a Charles act in a play, he still does plays in New York and all that stuff, and I look forward to the joke almost as much as I enjoy the joke. It's like this big, I don't know, it's just this wonderful thing. He's a unique talent, and he brought it all. He brought it all to Pyscho Beach Party.
So good. They usually come in pairs.
It's funny.
That weird, crazy
the reading
little,
of the way
I
believe they're usually. We had the only thing we ever fought over was when we were working on the script, and he'd say something's funny, and I'd be like, I don't think it's that funny, and he'd be like, he would perform the line, and I would say, Charles, you can make anything funny,
right?
If we're gonna test it, I have to perform the line, and my skills. Sure. Creatively are not in the realm of acting, I can tell you, although I am in Hot Guys with Guns, Doug Spearman's movie, which is, I think, on Netflix. I have one scene, and I'm the host of a party in a pair of tidy blueies, screaming at some guy about getting cum on my drapes. Which the line usually does get a laugh. But yeah, you can look for that.
Isn't being queer fun?
I'm also at the end of Weird Science. I'm an extra.
Okay.
The
No way.
last scene
Get
of
out of
Weird
here.
Science. If you want to see me at age 20 hungover, I faint when Kelly LeBrock walks in. And that was acting.
Hey. I
Wow.
mean, Kelly, 1985 Kelly LeBrock.
I was
Beautiful.
just as gay back then as I am now. She could walk in anywhere. Well, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But I did act like I was overwhelmed by her beauty, and I'm one of 3 guys in a shot, but you definitely can see me.
Okay.
But yeah, so I would perform the line, and if it was funny when I said it, then it was funny. But if it's funny when Charles says it, it just means
Doesn't
Charles
count.
is a really funny, really excellent comic actor.
Yeah, absolutely.
Actress.
I love that. Did you want to talk about Boy's Life?
Yeah.
Where are we going next?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Boy's Life is a great place to go.
Yeah, let's start at Boy's Life.
I mean, okay, listen.
That's very queer specific
1994,
of the 90s.
I'm like 16, 17, 1994, right?
Yeah.
This is like, you got to get this shit on VHS. You got to go to the mom and pop video
It
store.
played at the Sunset 5 for 4 months.
Yeah. I didn't have a car. My friends that did, I was not.
They probably
asking them
weren't taking
to
you
drive me to go
a
see
Boy's
Life.
Yeah.
Back when there was a Sunset 5, it was on the corner of Sunset and Crescent Heights.
It was one of the first movie theaters that I went to
Yeah.
when I moved here.
It was a Lemley, and they showed the best stuff.
Did Pyscho Beach Party open there?
I don't know.
It
Honestly,
strikes
I
me as
don't know.
someplace that would be probably the
Yeah.
theater in LA to show
Yeah.
Psycho Beach Party. I don't
For
know.
sure. Yeah.
Back when, I mean, that was probably pre-Virgin Megastore at the Sunset 5. I remember those days.
Yeah.
But,
way pre. But anyway, so you're 17
Yeah,
and you,
you know-
find this VHS tape and, suddenly you're gay.
Yeah, absolutely. It just, I was a straight kid before that, but it was that thing where, you know, media at the time, queer media, we had to seek these things out.
That's why I made the movie. I'd applied to get in. I'd graduated USC Film School. I applied to AFI to their master's program. I was one of 2 alternates. I didn't get in, and a friend of mine said, "Well, you know, instead of spending the money on school, why don't you just make a thesis project? Like, just make a 20-minute or 30-minute." It's to qualify for Academy short consideration. It has to be less than 30 minutes, so it's like 29 minutes and 29 seconds. Okay. And I set out to write this very precious. Well, let me start. Before I wrote anything, what I wanted to do, there was a lot of movies that sounded like they were about the gay person. Like there was an after-school special called "What If I'm Gay" that really is "What If My Friend's Gay?"
Okay.
And there were a lot of things, and then there were a lot where, like, the end of the movie, the gay commits suicide.
Sure.
You know, and so a lot back then. Like I can't even tell you how many movies. And my sort of mantra at the time was "No more dead gay teenagers."
Yeah.
And I set out to write this very precious. You know, the disco years is a reference to the Wonder Years. You know, it was like the gay version of the Wonder Years later, not, you know. But I was like, if like this 8-year-old can be horny for his, you know, elementary school or junior high school classmate, why can't I tell a gay story that sort of steps into that sacred ground? And so I wrote this very precious, sad story of my childhood. And then I went out and talked to other people who were gay and had their coming out experiences.
Yeah.
And I found a lot of common threads. Mostly that the time you come out is when you fall in love with someone who, in your sort of worldview, is worthy of your affections. Whether it works out or not, that's usually when people come out.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, I ended up cramming basically 10 years of the average gay person's coming out experience into one semester of high school, and allowed this kid, this Tom, to really be a hero. You know, heroic in ways most people are not in high school.
Right.
But ultimately, all gay people who don't end up dead gay teenagers are in their lives. Like eventually, we do tell the people, you know, who we are and stand for who we are and become fully expressed human beings. And so that's so that 30-minute short, which is part of the original Boys Life collection. That's how that came about.
Okay.
I didn't want anyone to grow up the way I did, which was always being ashamed of myself and never seeing my experience represented. If I wanted to see my experience represented on film, I had to like pretend to be a girl in my mind.
Exactly. Yeah. And I mean, that, you know, we talk about this.
That's always a big part of our show.
Yeah, it's a huge part.
Well, it does make you gay, I think. I mean, I watched a lot of Barbara Stanwyck movies and The Awful Truth and The Lady Eve and The Awful Truth is not a Barbara Stanwyck movie, but it's a great movie. But you know, I'm sitting there wanting Cary Grant to fall in love with me. You know, that's what that was my childhood.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And you know, now it's so easy. There's, you know, gay media everywhere. You know,
thank God.
Yeah, it's
God.
great.
I mean, their disco years growing up now is heated. I mean, the great thing about Heated Rivalry, which if that doesn't make you gay, you're not gay.
I forget that Heated Rivalry kind of landed in our break.
It did.
We've not really talked about it at all on the show.
Heated Rivalry is a revelation because there is not a trace of shame in it.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's so weird to watch gay story be told without shame. It's like you don't even know it's happening until you watch the whole thing and you realize like there's no moment when either one of these characters hates themselves for being gay.
Right.
And that is so great that you could create a character like that. I guess it was created by a woman writing novels. But fully, I mean, the guy who directed that stuff is, like, it is so pitch perfect and so beautifully cast and so beautifully executed. But what's really great about it is like the melting of shame from the gay experience, and it's still a great, gripping story.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, I always go back to this in the '90s. It's like I watched under cover of darkness. I watched, Tales of the City on PBS. PBS.
Did you ever read the Tales of the City?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we have
I
all the
mean-
books.
Come on.
Yeah.
So great.
But when that show landed, I think that was 94 as well. And I'm just a kid going, and again, this is public television. It's not cable. This is free TV. And there's like men in bed with each other, like nude, shirtless, and there was nudity in those.
Well,
that
when Thomas
miniseries.
Gibson was, getting about to have his ass tattoo that says "Anne Bowman
Yeah.
lives," he was like, "Do I really need to do that?" I'm like, "Dude, I saw Tales of the City. Like, yes, we are doing this."
Yeah.
And then he looked up at me as we're shooting, like, the first take. He goes, "For this, I went to Juilliard." Point of that story is
absolutely.
Thomas Gibson went to Juilliard,
Good.
and his ass is prominently displayed
Sure.
in Psycho Beach Party.
Absolutely.
He really commits to the role, though. I think he's
so
doing
much
fine
fun.
work. Yep.
He's so much fun.
Yeah. Kanaka.
Yeah.
Love it. All the character names are great in this movie. By the way, that's all Charles, right? Like,
Oh, yeah.
Chiclet and
Well, that's from the play. Most
Right.
most of the names are from the
yeah,
play.
Starcat. We're like, okay, Moondoggy. Like,
Right.
You can see the
these
parallels. And
connections.
Pete and I love the 60s Frankie and Annette Beach movies. Love them.
Me too. The
Wow.
thing I wanted to most I just remember being at home on a Saturday afternoon and watching any 5 minutes of a Frankie and Annette movie and not being able to leave till the movie's over.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that really was a huge North Star for Psycho Beach Party.
Yeah.
We wanted people not to be able to turn it off.
Yeah.
Which I don't know if it's true or not, but that was our goal.
Going back really quickly to the disco years. So you produced that on your own.
I made that movie on my own,
Okay.
spent my own money, got a lot of it's the beg, borrow, and steal
Yeah.
school of
Yeah.
cinema, but and got a lot of help. Like got the high school. I couldn't get a high school, and so there was like a gay teacher at Fairfax High who I thought would help me out.
Sure.
And it was very disappointing, like how that turned out. Like she was like really unhelpful.
Aw.
Like read the script and said you shouldn't make this movie.
Oh, no.
And I'm like,
Oh, no.
I mean, well, thanks for
Yeah.
your opinion.
Yeah.
She thought it was bad for gay people.
Oh.
I mean, there's a trailblazer.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
and so I was like stuck, and I walked into Santa Monica High School, and I acted like to the assistant principal. I'm like, look, this is a great opportunity for you. Your school will get publicity. It's very, and she's like, we're not interested. And then I said, okay, I'm just going to be honest. I really want to make this movie. I'm making this movie because I don't think anyone should have to grow up the way I did.
Yeah.
And if we don't have a high school to shoot, and I don't know how we're ever going to get a high school to shoot.
Yeah.
LA City, it's too much crazy with the insurance stuff. And she said, yes, you can shoot here. And that's how I got a high school. There's a lot of things like that. Things
Yeah.
where just you told people the intention of what you're doing and they
Yeah.
helped out. And so that's how that movie got made. But then I thought it would have a life in festivals and launch this great career for me, more or less immediately.
Right.
Which that's not at all what happened.
Yeah.
But at the time, Strand, was a young and
Right.
up and coming distribution house run out of John Guerin's apartment in Hollywood, and they had the idea to put it with two other shorts, because shorts were always like the biggest programs at gay film festivals. And so they put it with the two other shorts and released it as a theatrical film, and it had a lot of success.
Yeah, definitely. I like I said, I remember it vividly. First seeing it and just being like, I can't rent this.
I really want to rent this,
I really wanna
but I
rent this.
can't
And the
rent
cover
this.
art is from the disco years, even though Pool Days, it looks like it's from Pool Days because there's
Yeah.
a pool, but it's actually my dad's pool.
Oh, okay.
Which, what father would be prouder than to have
Yeah.
that go
Come
on? And it's shot by Tom Bianchi, because Russell, who plays the tennis hunk, heartbreaking tennis hunk,
Yes.
was friends with Tom Bianchi, and I think he owed him a favor, and he shot our cover.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So
And then the relationship with Strand releasing kind of led to Psycho Beach Party.
correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I made a movie and they paid me. And,
Sure.
I mean, not a lot, but it had some net profits.
Yeah.
And I really love those guys. They're just awesome people, and they really, and you know, you really get to know, the proof is in the pudding. They really believe in independent cinema and directors creating their own work. They didn't get in the way, but they were unbelievably supportive. John and I had one enduring fight, which was the placement of the Go-Go, you know, the credits, the opening credit Go-Go Girl, because I was trying to make the movie work, and every time I got to the end of the movie, like, it was just such a bummer to like see someone. Well, I won't say what happens, but so you can't just roll credits after that. Okay, over silence or some song. Like you need something visual to end the movie. And John's like, "Listen, I know certain people on the Sundance Selection Committee, and if we put her up front, we'll get the movie and send it." Like that was his theory. And so I kept moving to the back, and he kept moving it to the front. And finally I realized that we had shot 2 takes. There are 2 outfits. Like there's an orange outfit and there's a silver outfit.
Okay,
And so even though she's only dancing to one song, and it's I can't remember which song we replaced. Anyway, the editor, Suzanne Hines, like had to go back to the well. But we separated the 2 outfits, so it's the orange outfit for the opening credits and the silver outfit for the closing credits. But it was and it works because there's a song at the end and a song at the beginning. I think she danced to the song at the end at the beginning, but then we composed the song at the beginning because it was a different pace and the pace was right. And Ben Vaughn, such a talented, who did the music. Came from Third Rock from the Sun. He did that music, and that was the right vibe. But he, I think, hit the ball out of the park in Pyscho Beach Party. And so he made 2 songs, and then Suzanne had to make it. I think she cut it to a metronome, and then he composed. It was that crazy.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
But that was really the only conflict that we had. Well, never mind. I can't tell you the other one. The other one's a secret.
All right, that one's for off mic.
Well, I want to talk a little bit about the casting. So,
Yes,
I mean,
sure.
this cast is incredible. Do you want to talk about first landing on Lauren Ambrose? Because this is pre 6 Feet Under.
So
I think 6 Feet Under, I think, was 2001.
Yeah. Well, way before. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or not way before. I mean, it came. I think there was a lot of. I think they were very impressed with her as Chiclet and saw that helped her. I think it helped her get that part. I mean, I can't imagine it didn't, but so we needed someone to play Chiclet who, you know, could do a lot of things at the same time. When you're casting comic actors, first of all, the hardest thing is to find someone who's young and funny.
Yeah.
Because young and funny don't always go together. People get funny as they get older, and to find someone who's young and can really deliver that stuff is a huge challenge for every single role. It's sort of a 3-factor thing. Yeah, so young and funny. So Laura Schiff, who's the casting director, and I think she saw 500 Chiclets, and I think I saw 300 or maybe 200 of them.
Yeah.
And there was, you know, a long process and there were 4 or 5 sort of finalists that, you know, Lauren was always she's such a fantastic actress. She was really into the role. Like something in her knew that this part was destined for her.
Yeah.
And she acted like it. And at the end of the day, you know, she's a split personality. So there's a lot of actresses who could play Chiclet.
Yeah.
There are very few who can play Chiclet and Anne Bowman.
Yeah.
And there was one who could play Chiclet, Anne Bowman, and Tyrene Carmichael Carmel.
Yeah.
And that actress was Lauren Ambrose. And she sings opera. And in the scene where she's the radio station, that is literally her voice live, like in the scene, shot on, you know, like any other piece of dialogue, just hitting that note. And we had, at one point, Charles and I were going to cut it, and she's like, "No, you can't cut it." I'm like, and she did it, and we're like, "Oh no, we're not cutting that." She's amazing, and she's wonderful in the movie.
Anne Bowman, I love.
Bowman. There's a story like Charles got that from some drag queen.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, in New York. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, aside from Lauren Ambrose, there's just a lot of familiar faces from, I mean, just the era, but people that we.
I had the biggest crush on Nathan Bexton at this time. I
think he's in Greg's new movie. I think
So,
he's in Greg
yeah.
Araki's new movie.
I work
the
at Trader
Gates,
Joe's,
yeah.
and he came into TJ's with Jimmy Duvall.
Yeah.
I believe
Seeing
it.
them
Yeah.
both together,
Yeah.
just like
Well, he's the greatest guy. He is the greatest guy.
was
and, you
blown
know,
away. Seeing them both together coming through my line at TJ's.
I mean,
Incredible.
and it's hard to
Knocked
play a
yourself
part.
off.
It's hard to play a guy who talks about nothing but his balls.
His balls?
And then
Yeah.
you find
Hairy
out he
balls.
only has one ball. Like that's the
Yeah.
the weird twist of it all.
Yeah. No, he's great. But I mean, all these.
Right. Amy Adams, the hardest part
Yeah.
to cast is Marvel Ann because she has to be drop dead gorgeous, right?
Sure.
So now there's a third. So it's got to be funny, young,
Yeah.
and drop dead gorgeous.
Yeah.
Like that is really hard to find. And we had seen almost as many actresses for her, and I was almost going to make a compromise of one of those three things. And then at the last, she was the last major part cast. Amy Adams comes in and she says she asked me, I said, do you have any questions? She said, well, she's kind of a bitch. I said, yes, she is. And she said, sometimes it's fun to play against that. Now, I did not know she would later have a career as a hayseed, with a heart of gold that, would like get her Oscar nominations and Disney princess gigs. I just wanted to cast Marvel Ann.
Yeah.
And so I said to her, well, sometimes it's fun to just go for it. And she looks at me like this look comes into her eyes like a murderer who, has finally seen their prey and goes, oh, I can do that. And then we read the scene.
Yeah.
And we did it a couple times and a couple of notes and stuff. And I was like, give us a second. And Laura and I were like, that's Marvel Ann. like there was she literally got it in the room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did I read that Marvel Ann was also a drag character in the show, in the play?
I think
Or is
that one goes back and forth.
apocryphal?
Chiclet's mother was in the play.
Okay.
Chiclet's mother is a Joan Crawford impersonator.
Okay.
Yeah.
That tracks.
Yeah.
That tracks.
Yeah.
Especially with the performance of her. I get it.
Well, no, I mean, but we changed all that.
Right.
Yeah.
But like we could.
That's
see-
also
I
a great
can-
story.
I
So
can kinda
Beth,
see it
actually,
on the
I take it back.
stage, yeah.
Yeah.
Beth was the last cast person.
Okay.
So this is Beth Broderick is like the greatest human being on the face of the earth. First of all, and I mean, like genuinely, like you can't know all the good that woman has done for the world. But she's so funny. And so Charles actually I had another actress who was going to do it who got pregnant.
Okay.
And said, "Oh no, well I can, you can't be pregnant 6 months on a beach. Like that was not going to work." And then there was another actress who got it, but went to London to do a play with really big director and Peter. Anyway, and I was like, and so actually that's a different part. What am I saying? I don't know what we were doing for this story. Charles suggested Beth Broderick. She came in, and I was like, yes, you're the most fun person on the face of the earth. She was working in New York or something like that for a long time, and then came back. And in the time that we, she came to rehearse like a week before we started shooting, and she comes out to this soundstage in some part of LA, and with Lauren, and what she did not know, she didn't know two things. Number one, that we had rewritten the scene at the end with Lars, where she, baby, just put the bulb in the goddamn socket, that, where she's kind of drunk and trying to sexually accost Lars, her Swedish foreign exchange student. But also, Chiclet, Lauren, all the scenes with the mom, the Tyrene, Carbuncle Carmel, and the other, all the scenes with the mom, the one about the first scene when she's, scrubbing, cleaning the underwear.
Sure, yeah.
All of those are audition scenes.
jockstrap.
And Lauren had not just auditioned, but gone callback and chemistry reading the whole thing.
Yeah.
And so we get to this little room where we're rehearsing in with the tape on the floor and all that stuff, and Beth has got a script in her hand because she's about to start working on this project that we're going to shoot in a week.
Yeah.
And Lauren is not just off book. Like she has got this stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, she is just like flying everywhere, knows every line
She's
of
got
dialogue,
both parts.
and having playing multiple personalities, and in front of her, because every scene with Mrs. Forrest, she's turning into some other character, and so she says, after I don't know, an hour of this, Beth says, Bob, can I talk to you for a second? So we go outside, and she's like, what is going on here? Am I unprepared? I'm like, oh my God, no. And so I tell her what's happening, and Lauren, figures it out. And so we're just having fun because these are very fun people.
Yeah.
And so we get through everything, and she's like, okay, I can get there. It's just I need to do more than just read it.
Yeah.
And so we get to that scene at the end, and she had never read it. She had a version of the script that didn't have that scene in it.
Oh,
and so
that's hilarious.
One of the funniest moments, I laughed harder. The three of us watching her read that scene for the first time, and I had to play Lars because we didn't have a Lars. I mean, we were literally crying. We were laughing so hard by the time we were done reading that scene for the first time. So yeah, that was a super fun thing.
Trying to get out these urine stains. I mean, Beth Broderick at this point is knee deep in Sabrina.
I was
going to
say,
witch.
Was she doing Sabrina at the same time?
She was.
She was. Yeah.
I mean, it had started in '96, and
I think Sabrina just ended.
I think, or at least I think she stepped away. She didn't stay on through the last 2 seasons, I think.
You know more about Sabrina than I do, but I know about Beth Broderick.
Yeah.
Now, I think that Pete told me yesterday that Matt Kiesler was making Scream 3
oh my God.
at the same time.
I had to negotiate a haircut.
So was that kind of complicated to work around that schedule?
Well, we cast him first, thank God, because would that have happened? I don't know.
Yeah.
But they wanted him to have really long hair, and I was ready. It's 60s. He's a foreign exchange. He needs to look like a nerdy, Swedish guy. Yeah, he can't be one of the beach people.
Right.
And so I had to go to some place in Hollywood and negotiate a haircut with Kathy Kennedy or her representative. Yeah. I think it was Kathy though. I don't remember, but it was I negotiated a haircut.
Yeah.
And I basically just had to clean. My main thing was to box his whatever that is.
Your neckline?
Neckline, yeah. I just needed a clean 60s neckline. Yeah, because, Lars.
Well, I'm buying it. I mean, put Matt
I'll buy anything
Kiesler.
Matt
Yeah,
Kiesler's
exactly.
selling.
Whatever he's selling to me, I'm there for.
Matt had such a run at this time.
He really did.
He was in a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Well, he was so dreamy.
Yeah.
That helps.
He's the person I gave the least direction to because he just sort of kind of already had it. He had the accent. He just, he was just, what can you when you just,
And I'm assuming that this is not a character that was on stage, that this was added for the movie?
No, that's all. Well, he's completely added for the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Captain Monica, Lars. I'm sure there are other. The waitress at the.
Sure.
That was written for that actress by She does this Philadelphia accent that he's obsessed with, and he's like, I'm not telling you who to cast, but I'm going to write this part for my friend and just cast Ruth. And I'm like, she came in. I'm like, yeah, of course.
Do you know who was a surprise when we were watching it yesterday? I have not seen this movie in a while, and I forgot she was in it. Was Kathleen Robinson from 90210? Was she? And she would have maybe been just finishing up 90210 at the time. I think that she did the entire.
I'm not sure about her.
I think that she may have finished up the series, but I thought that was kind of a gag.
She is so much fun. I love
a
Kathleen.
bitchy girl in a wheelchair.
So
That's
Rhonda is a brand new character from not in the play, and Charles just always thought it would be fun to write a handicapped character that is not nice.
Yeah.
That's just
an
a
asshole.
total. And we called her the bitch on wheels. That's Rhonda's nickname. And the scene where she runs into Bettina.
Yeah.
At the cafe is super fun because
those fine lines.
But Bettina's she catches on to her wit. It's Kathleen has a lot of fun with that.
Yeah, absolutely. It was interesting seeing. There are some there's Greg Araki connections with Kathleen and with Nathan.
Well, I went to film school with Greg, so I and he's very close with Strand and Marcus in particular. And he has a great eye for talent. I think Kathleen was his girlfriend at the time. That was that moment.
Sure, yeah.
But you know, they came in, and I thought they were the best people for the roles.
Yeah.
So, well, shut my mouth. She had been done with 90210 since '97.
Well, how about that?
I thought it was a little bit longer than that.
Yeah. But there's also, I mean, just within like fandoms and, you know, people watching these movies so many times, you just start to see the other connections. A lot of this cast was on Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Yeah, there's a lot of Buffy connections.
Who else did Buffy besides?
Amy did one episode
So
of
there's
Buffy.
a thing where
Really?
a lot of them
Yeah.
did like one or two here and there. I think
Before or after Psycho Beach? It has to
Probably
be after.
after.
For Amy.
Probably after.
Yeah. I believe Nick Cornish, who played Yo-Yo, I think he has a credit on an episode.
Nick came to the screening in New York with his kids, a couple of his kids, and Nick looks just as cute as he did when he was wrestling Provolone.
Yeah.
Except a little more manly and handsome. But he is just the greatest guy.
Yeah.
And yeah.
See, that's the thing. When I first saw this movie, I was like, okay, I get it. This is like, there's a bunch of queer people making this. There's Charles Busch. This is a movie for me. But even through all of that, like the camp and the humor and Captain Monica Stark and everything, Yo-Yo and Provolone's relationship and their love.
Oh, I love it. Mm-hmm.
That's the thing
kiss
that I
over
was
the
like,
poo-poo platter.
I was like, representation matters, even though there's drag queens in there.
You know, that was a crazy day of shooting, and that was I think it was the last thing we shot that day, and
Yeah.
I had to get it right. It's all one take.
Yeah.
You can tell when you watch Pyscho Beach Party, you can tell literally whether each scene was shot before or after lunch,
Oh.
because if it's before lunch, there's cutaways, there are, tracking well, actually there's still tracking. So before lunch there's cutaways, it's more conventionally shot, there's oftentimes some movement and things like that. But if it's after lunch, it's a oneer, usually with the camera on some kind of tracking shot, and every actor has to deliver every line with pace and enthusiasm. There is no way out. And that was also the scene with Yo-Yo and Provolone. Like, it is really all one take. And they had to get it right. And I'm so proud of those guys. They're such amazing actors. And they really brought a lot to those roles.
Yeah, so good.
And that moment.
No, absolutely. Absolutely.
I want to talk a little bit about shooting on location.
Okay.
Yeah. So what was the main stretch of beach that you shot at?
There's only one beach you can shoot at in LA, and it's where every movie shoots.
Yeah.
It's a part of Zuma. It's sort of the furthest south end of Zuma parking lot.
Is the Planet of the Apes beach?
Maybe, probably, but there's a hill there that people rock climb as well. And it's like, there's a rock in the ocean.
Like comes out.
If you look at any movie in LA, literally for like 100 years, it's always that beach.
Yeah.
And so when you see the ocean, it's always that beach.
Okay.
And there are kind of 3 levels of permit. There's the permit where you just own the thing and nobody can go near there. That permit's very expensive.
Yeah.
There's a permit where you can, people can still walk by, but they can't climb the mountain. And, you've got some access. You just have to yell quiet on the set and put some PAs around. And then there's like the one that we had, which was you can ask, but if they want to get in your shot, there's nothing you can do to stop them. And so every time we were shooting at that mountain, if some guy decided it was his time to climb the cliff, I would have to go over there, tell them it was my first feature, beg them to go around the corner and climb the other side.
Yeah.
And thank God everyone that happened to, they agreed and they helped us out.
Okay. All right. Yeah. I mean, these are the rocks that Nancy and the gals call the corners in the craft.
I think this is the same beach from Charlie's Angels Full Throttle.
Charlie's Angels Full Throttle.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Demi
Yeah.
Moore and Cameron Diaz are having their little surf competition.
Yeah, they had the good permit though.
I was going to say the Charlie's Angels probably had the.
And then the
type
house,
permit.
Bettina's house, which is
yes.
I wanted to ask about this house.
Yeah.
okay.
we have
So it's on
questions.
the other end of Trancas. It looks. We got there, and I was like, "This is where you shoot porn in the 80s.
Yeah.
I think that's basically what it looks like.
Yeah.
And our production designer, Franco Giacomo Carbone, is so talented. He went from this to like doing every Stallone movie to like, he has a very illustrious career as a production designer now. But he like left no bad surface at least painted, and usually, you know, and when when we scouted it was that when we got there to shoot it, it was like I didn't even recognize the house. He put all that green scaffolding and all that stuff that makes it look so period. All of that is Franco. He built that whole hut, Kanaka's beach house.
I was going to ask about that next.
Kanaka's beach house, not only like he built it on the beach, but then when we were shooting we had a soundstage too for the interiors, that interior, a couple other interiors, but mostly for the luau. He brought the whole hut to the beach, to the soundstage, and it was it was crazy.
It looks like it was dropped in from a '60s movie.
Yeah.
Tanaka's hut was
He went a little nuts, but it was in such a good way. It was, and actually, the whole end of the movie was changed because as we were just about to go into production, we still had the talent show from the play as the finale of the movie, and it wasn't right. And I just hadn't thought of anything better. And Franco's like, Bob, can I talk to you about something? And I'm like, sure. And he's like, that luau. Because he's getting ready to build a set for it, right?
Yeah.
And so he's thinking about, what it should look like based on the text and the setting and all that, and the mood of it.
Yeah.
And he knew it was all wrong. And when I thought of it in that context, it resonated so deeply with me. And thank God Charles was in LA. And I brought it up to Charles, and that's where the whole luau, the MacGuffin with the other guy who speaks in verse, that's also a new character for the movie. Suddenly maybe we're going to reveal this character in the last 20 minutes that committed all the murders that you didn't even know about for the whole movie. That was what we wanted to kind of toy with.
Sure.
And then the whole, of course Chicklet has to transform into all these other characters by something more than just what was in the play. And so this very visual kind of setting, which he kind of went nuts on that. That's all in a soundstage. It's crazy.
That's kind of amazing.
Yeah.
Looks pretty good.
I mean, on a low budget movie, of course, Joe and the Volcano did it, but had a little different budget than we did.
Yeah. Do you remember where that drive-in was?
Zusa.
Okay, I thought so. Yeah. I was like, what did they shoot
there.
in Zusa? And
Still
I was like,
there.
I bet you it was the drive-in.
100%.
Is that
That's what I thought.
Is it the Violin Drive-In?
No, that's not it.
It's the Zusa Drive-In. I think.
it's just called a Zusa.
I don't think I've been there.
No, we haven't been there.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think this is more a swap meet than a drive-in,
Right,
every
yeah,
drive-in.
yeah.
But last I checked, it was still there.
Yeah.
And they had that great sign that isn't really on top of the drive-in thing, but we made it look like it was.
Yeah.
So.
Is that
And
works?
that's what line gets the biggest laugh is when Charles looks down at the dead Lars and goes, and that's the end of that. that I don't know why it's funny, but it's really funny.
Yeah.
Oh God! Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert!
Listen.
Lars does die.
Listen, our listeners understand that we talk about things in these.
It's been 25
well,
years.
yeah.
You had
It's a-
time. It's not. You can't too soon.
We're
that.
celebrating 25 years
Yeah.
here. It's it's no longer too soon. Great locations. We love that all the beach stuff looks so good.
Well, that's the other crazy thing. So the idea, Arturo Smith, who was the director of photography, the cinematographer, and I. The idea was, so the play, the great thing about the play is you see these sort of 60s characters and 60s setting and kind of a 60s story, milieu, I guess it would be.
Sure.
But they say things that no one ever said in those movies and probably not even at the time.
Right.
And that's sort of a lot of what makes the play so funny. And for the movie, we wanted to carry that forward so that if you if you had a freeze frame of any particular image in the movie, it would look like a 60s beach movie.
Yeah.
But we could also move the camera in ways they couldn't move till now, which that's a lot of the movie, which thank God we decided to do that because I didn't know we'd be doing single takes for all this stuff.
Yeah.
But we, we're kind of forced into that if we wanted to finish. And that inside that frame, the characters would say and do things that they wouldn't have done in a 60s movie.
Yeah.
So that's kind of that's why the movie looks the way it does.
Did you have to loop everything that was shot
On the beach?
on the beach?
No,
'Cause
not
it
at
didn't
all.
sound like,
wow.
yeah,
No,
I was
the
pretty
big
surprised.
No, that's the scene where Marvelin and,
Yeah.
and Chiclet and Berdine are walking to the beach, which is like one super long take. Thank God we didn't have to, I think we had to loop like one line in there. And the scene that took a lot of looping was when the camera spins around.
Oh, sure.
All the when Chiclet's like discovering surfing for the first time and she runs into their little circle and the cameras, I mean, that was like the last thing we shot that day. The sun is going down. I have six actors or 7 actors, I think, and a camera on a track going around them.
Yeah.
And no one can, it's not just that they, they're all on camera the whole time, pretty much.
Yeah.
And they can't, like 1 second of dropped energy and the whole scene sucks.
Sure.
And that just goes, when you get the right
And you're
actors
losing light and all that.
like, it's just an amazing thing that we
Yeah.
could actually pull that scene off with the amount of time we had
Yeah.
left in the day.
No, but I mean, it sounded great, and it didn't. A lot of times,
But there was a lot of looping in that
Yeah.
scene because the ocean's like crap. I mean, we're
Yeah,
right.
you-
Anytime you're right next to the beach,
Yeah.
then you gotta loop at least one of the lines. When
Yeah.
the wave comes in.
Yeah.
Was
But
it
sometimes that adds to the charm of those 60s movies, though.
Also,
that,
I
like,
had a great
soundtrack.
Jay Nierenberg did the sound design, did
Yeah.
the post sound design, and he, like, I don't know why they wanted to do this movie. The company he worked for, like, there's like 3 different companies that are going to win the Oscar every year for sound editing and sound direction, and the sound in post for this little tiny movie with no budget was like someone just loved it and decided to like, you know what, you're going to have great sound, and we have great sound.
Yeah, you do. We noticed it.
I'm assuming it was shot on film, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks great.
35 millimeter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, especially at a time where there are independent films from around this time that were shot on early digital, and they do not age so well.
Oh, yeah.
This movie looks great.
Yeah, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Well, I mean, again, you can't get that look. Like, we literally had key lights, like giant lights on the beach.
Yeah.
Like, and it's funny, the key grip and the gaffer were Harry Hope and Terry Meadows, who were the offspring of Bob Hope and Jane Meadows, and they were the greatest guys, and they just like showed up with the I mean, it was like really amazing that they could get the stuff out there that needed to get out there and that we could shoot. It was super fun.
I mean, even Back to the Beach with Frankie and Annette from like 89 or whatever.
Right.
It doesn't look like this. It's gray, like LA. Whenever, I don't know when they shot that movie, January, because it's gray, it's not sunny.
And that's a major studio.
And that was
movie.
Paramount.
Yep.
Yeah. And it's just it
They
doesn't
should have
have
called
that.
Arturo.
I know.
I'm telling you, it wasn't that sunny. He just made it work.
Yeah, I always notice that when we watch Back to the Beach, I'm like, what a gloomy day. I think it rains even in one
I
of the
haven't seen it
scenes.
since it came out. I mean, I'm such a fan of it. I kind of liked it at the time, but I don't remember if it's any good or not.
It's
we
corny.
like Back to the Beach.
It's funny.
We have a soft spot for it.
Annette is great.
My
Annette's
dad
just-
worked at Disney for 31 years, and every now and then we would run into Annette Funicello at the Acapulco on Ventura, kind of near Van Nuys Boulevard, and I was just in heaven. Like, because he would introduce me, and it was like, oh my God, that's that lady.
I mean,
she is Disney royalty.
No, she absolutely. She's
Before,
a Disney
way before
legend.
Selena or Ariana or Christina or any of those gals.
One of the craziest things about Back to the Beach is that Frankie and Annette are like 45 or something in it. You're just like, what?
I think they might have been older than that.
I know. I think they're under 50.
I think.
Really?
I think they're probably around 45.
I think when you do the math, they're
Yeah.
under 50. Yeah, I think Frankie is probably pushing 50, but I think Annette's like 45 in it.
Kids, get your
Yeah.
chat GTP out and send
Verify. We need somebody to verify these ages.
I mean, I had a friend who did a book about people working in their 70s, and she's a photographer, and she did. She shot Kitty Carlisle, the great, married Moss Hart, and like I just love Kitty Carlisle. And if you don't know her, like, watch Night at the Opera, or isn't it Night at the... She's in a Marx Brothers movie. She was the cultural ambassador in New York, and we all know her from a show called What's My Line? And to tell the truth, I don't know, maybe you guys are much younger than me, but
she's in Night at the Opera.
At Night at the Opera,
Yeah.
and I just worshipped. Anyway, so she did a book about people working in their past the age of 70, and she had shot Kitty Carlisle, and she calls up Kitty Carlisle. She says, "We're about to go to press. I've found 3 separate listings for your age." And without skipping a beat, Kitty Carlisle says, "Well, they're all wrong, but use the youngest." And I have a feeling Frankie and Annette may have been of a similar ilk.
I think you're probably right about that. I think you're probably right. I mean, although Annette, you could go back and figure out when Mickey Mouse
Well,
Club
actually,
was
Mickey
on.
Mouse Club, she was
Yeah,
so
she
young,
was-
it'd be hard for her to lie about it.
Yeah. Frankie, on the other hand,
But Kitty Carlisle can do it.
Yeah, this is true. This is true.
What do you remember about bringing the movie to Sundance?
I remember being extremely excited. I had been going to Sundance for many years at that time. I was a huge fan of the festival. Every movie that I worshipped pretty much at that time would start off there, more or less. And, this is really the heyday. I think, it was the year before Napoleon Dynamite, maybe.
I think that this is the 2000 was the Girl Fight and You Can Count on Me year, I think.
Oh, great. Well,
yeah,
you
good,
can count on me.
Good
Rip
Sundance
my
year.
Heart
Yep.
out. My God, Laura Linney. Oh, my God. So I would go every year. I would go to Sundance every year because I'm also a snowboarder. So it was the best time to snowboard because nobody, Park City's a pretty small town, and all the hotel rooms are usually for skiers and snowboarders. But during Sundance, nobody's on the slopes; they're all watching movies. So you could snowboard during the day, see 3 movies after 3 o'clock, and I would always limit myself to one. When you go to parties in Sundance, it's always the same party. It's like it starts off in a nice hotel ballroom and winds up in someone's condo. But it's really the same part. It's all the same people. You just wind up in a different. So I would limit myself to 1 or 2 of those parties, and and then I could get up and go snowboard the next day. And so it was a huge thing for to play at the Egyptian and have the brunch with Robert Redford, who did in every way is what you would want him to be.
Sure. Meet
the other filmmakers. It's a very supportive, collaborative environment. It was really like a dream.
Yeah, that's amazing. Where are we going next? Do you have another question?
Oh, no.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, like I said, this movie does have such an enduring legacy. It just has this kind of perfect mixture of this script, this cast, the people involved, you yourself, just everybody coming together to make it what it came out to be. And I think that's why we're kind of talking about it 25 years later. And that's why, our little tiny dog and pony show that we have here, like I said, as soon as we posted that this was going to be on the next season.
That's so nice to hear. It
We
means
got
so
so many
much to
comments
me.
about
I've
it.
been a little bit away from filmmaking. So one of the things that happened at the 25th, because I made Pyscho Beach Party, and then I really struggled to get another job.
Yeah.
I sold a script that got made, and then I really I needed to learn some people skills and make money, and I got hit by this thing called the global economic collapse, and I got into sales, and turns out I'm really good at sales, and so I did that for quite a while just because I got hired basically, and then I decided to write a book about that. That's an interesting thing. It's called The Joy of Closing. It's on Amazon and every other way you could watch it. And it's about sales and closing and how to feel good about being of service to your customer by getting them what they want, which is what really great closers do.
Sure.
And then I did some coaching after that. I still do coaching for salespeople. It's a little bit like working with actors because you are kind of, presenting. And also they have to really trust you. They have to trust you enough to do that thing that's going to blow their deal. And then you get to, it's a very intimate thing, not unlike working with actors. And so I really enjoyed that. And then I started coaching sales teams, which is it's like having a dozen stepchildren all at the same time. And you're like the evil stepmother, and nobody there thinks they have a problem. Because when you're coaching, that salesperson wants to make use of your skill,
Right.
your insights. But when you're coaching a sales team, it's the owner. The owner's unhappy with their performance. They think they're fine.
Got it. Yeah.
And then here am I.
Yeah,
And so
yeah.
it was that's been an adventure. But I went to I just lost a coaching gig. I didn't lose it till later. No, that's anyway. So I went to New York. They showed it at IFC 2 nights. Interviewed by Ben Brantley from the New York Times. Charles came. Lauren came one of the nights.
Mm-hmm.
It was just like this magical evening. And all this time I've been like, there's a little part of me that goes like, was I really that big an asshole that I didn't get hired? Or did I really make a bad movie? And I honestly didn't know.
Yeah.
And then I watched the movie with this crowd of, New Yorkers are not the easiest crowd.
Yeah.
And I realized, like, we made a good movie, like, against all odds, like, craziest of material, like, incredible actors for this, that all of them had careers pretty much afterwards. Even, like, the guy who's next to the girl who gets her throat slit in the first scene at the drive-in, that's one Big Brother, like the first year, like crazy. Everybody in it like got a career.
Everyone
except
had
me.
some good luck.
Yeah, pretty much.
Aww.
And so I was like, and so when I watched it, I was like, no, I did a good job. We made a good movie.
Yeah.
I really was that big an asshole. And so I was like, I want to make another movie. And then one of my consulting gigs like kind of imploded, and a friend of mine had given me a script to read, and now when a friend gives you a script to read, it's usually a countdown to a very awkward conversation. Like that's usually what happens.
Sure.
And I had been avoiding it, and he was like, he came to the screening the first night, and I was telling him how I want to make a movie. He's like, I know, read my script. And I'm like, oh my God, I got to read the script. And I had like 20 minutes before I had to go to yoga, and I'm like, you know what? Okay, I'll pick it up and, dun, 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 and I read it and I could not put it down. I did not go to yoga. I read it again the next day and I was like, oh my God, I want to make, and so what it is, it's called Boo 92. It's a indie gay grunge surf noir set in Malibu Beach in 1992. It's very different it's not as comically broad as the other stuff that I've made, but it's just this wonderful, like, beautiful story and lots of parts for really sexy young actors. And and it's kind of like a lot of parts of my childhood that somehow these two writers like formed into this story I want to tell. So we just finished revising the script, so I'm getting ready to do that again.
Great.
How did I get into all this stuff? I think because you said I made a good movie.
Yeah.
Life after Pyscho Beach
like
Party.
I can't tell you how much that means to me, because I did not make that movie and go on to be paid to direct movies.
Right.
Like I didn't do that. And like that sort of eats at my soul. And I don't really care about being paid. I just want to be able to make more movies.
Right.
Although it'd be nice to be paid.
Also, when you kind of look at the landscape of independent cinema now, do movies like Pyscho Beach Party even get made anymore? I mean, it's just so hard now.
Oh well,
to do something like
it's weird
this.
with this movie that we're gonna. I don't know why I know we're gonna make it, but I know we're gonna make it, and it's weird. Like, it's like because it's like a early '90s throwback, and we kind of made it into the kind of movie that would get made in the early '90s. And that's part of the fun of it. And I don't know how or why it's going to come together for us to be able to make. The good thing about independent film is, look, you can't make money on an independent film. It's almost impossible. I think 4 movies sold out of Sundance this year, and they were talking about how it's back. It's like 4 movies out of how many movies that showed there? A couple of hundred. Out of how many movies that applied to show there, which is a couple of thousand.
Yeah.
Over how it's like the odds are so astronomical, and it's not like. Back when we made Pyscho Beach Party, there was always some movie that came out of Sundance, went on to some theatrical life, and there'd be an article in Variety like the most profitable movie this year was Hustle and Flow, which people financed independently and hit the jackpot. Of course, it was still long odds, but at least if you hit those odds, it was a long odds payoff. Now the odds are longer, and the payoff is, a couple of $100,000, not 10 million. And so it's really, really difficult. But what has happened that's very encouraging is the democratization of media, where pretty much anyone with a iPhone can make some kind of movie.
Yeah.
And to make a movie on a kind of larger scale, it's still like dozens of people less needed and much less in terms of equipment costs. And let's face it, the town is, nobody's making stuff right now, so everybody wants to do something. So we will find a way to do this movie. But that's my intention.
So right now for this project that's,
Boo 92.
Touchwood, Boo 92.
Yeah.
And that's like Boo is in like Malibu.
Malibu
Boo,
1992.
Right? Got it. Where you're in a like script writing phase.
The script's done.
Script's done.
We revised the script and it's my, vision of this story along with the writers. And if someone wants to make a movie, call me up. We'll make a movie. But it's really I don't know. There's just something as it's going forward. Like, I don't know, there's this DP that I really like who I think might do it. And I can't tell you, there's every now and then, like, I just know something's going to happen. And I feel like that's the case with this movie. So something to look forward to.
Yeah.
If you like Pyscho Beach Party. And also the other thing, like, I'm not an idiot. This is a beach movie where it's young people.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be 1992, not 1960, whatever.
Yeah.
It's all natural light. It's young people that don't need to be lit.
Sure.
And it needs to feel grungy and was like, Nirvana.
I want to
Pearl
see that
Jam.
movie. I think that sounds like fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
I said
we're already here for
I
it.
said to the right, like, if two people don't, there's 4 major roles, and if at least 2 of them don't have career defining, like, Jennifer Lawrence in Winter's Bone kind of stardom,
Right.
I completely fucked up.
I love it. I mean, but this is the kind of enthusiasm that kind of makes movies happen, right?
Yeah.
Like this is what you need.
Yeah.
To move forward. I can't wait for this to actually come to fruition, and we will definitely be watching it because it sounds like something that's right up our alley.
Well, in the meantime, there's also Bad Actress, which was the follow-up to Pyscho Beach Party, which I think is an unsung gem in many ways. So if you like Pyscho Beach Party or you just want to see what derailed my career, you
has Ryan Hansen from
really need
Veronica
to check out Bad Actress with the great Beth Broderick.
Yeah.
I learned from Pyscho Beach Party, we sold more, I guess they were downloads. There was no streaming back then, but there were downloads. We sold more downloads than DVDs when Mr. Skin mentioned that Amy Adams is bottomless at the hot dog stand, which, I mean, when you see the movie, it's the least salacious thing ever because, she's lecturing Starcat. Starcat's trying to adjust her she's trying to take this pin off her and rips her bikini bottom off, and then she delivers naked or, from the waist down, a lecture about being a decent Presbyterian. and it's not really, I wouldn't call it sexy, except she's sexy. So But I learned from that having something Mr. Skin can talk about actually is probably more important than any of our filmmaking skills. Or acting or anything. That is what actually gets people to take an interest in something. And so in Bad Actress, there is a very salacious scene on a Pilates machine. So you get to see Beth Broderick on a Pilates machine having sex with Provolone from Pyscho Beach Party, Andrew Levitas, while she's wearing her HMO nurse's cap, which was the character she played on television. The character that Beth played that character on television. So if you want to see Beth having sex, I don't think that's really your audience, though.
I don't know. Provolone's pretty.
There's a lot of fun stuff. Provolone's very handsome. Yes.
Currently streaming on Tubi.
Is it? Oh, good.
Yep.
Tubi.
Both of them are on Tubi.
Oh.
I've heard whispers
Free with
of
ads.
because it was on Pyscho Beach Party was on the Criterion Channel.
Yes.
This past year, I think they.
It's always brief with them.
It's now. I've also heard whispers of a disc that's being worked on.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know that was just doing a Google search.
Like a Criterion Collection release.
I don't know if it would be a Criterion Collection, but I hear that they might be working on some sort of a disc for it.
Charles and I did a commentary for it on the DVD that's like crazy stories. I don't remember what we said, but we talked for 2 hours, or an hour, however long the movie is. Yeah.
Hour 35.
Thank you.
I can't remember. I think it was just on. I can't remember what was the theme on the Criterion Channel that it was on. Maybe something from the 90s.
I'll tell you the truth. I went to see if it was still there like 2 weeks ago, and I was heartbroken that it wasn't.
Yeah, I wanted to watch it.
It was
the
like only
Criterion
for 6
Channel.
months. It was a 6 months thing. But, it's still an honor to be on that, among those giants that they have on that streaming.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. We do not own the DVD, but like you said, there is a commentary on there from featuring you and Charles Busch.
Oh,
and
yeah.
that's something that I would love to track down.
Yeah.
I'm sure
We have the Die Mommy Die.
we
DVD.
do have the Diamond Mommy
That's
Psycho
also
Beach Party.
great. That's also great. That's also, when we were shooting. So Charles had agreed to do, Die Mommy Die at the Coast Playhouse, and but we came first. So every time we needed him, they had to not do a performance, and I needed Charles quite a bit.
Yeah.
And so this was in the summer of 1999, and so at one point, they kept postponing the opening and then postponing the run, and we only shot. It was 21 days of shooting, so it wasn't that much postponement, even if I had used him every day. But at one point he said, I know where I'll be for the millennium, doing Die Mommy Die at the Coast Playhouse because you keep extending my performances. Yeah, it's pretty funny.
I want to see if there's because it's an out of print DVD.
It is?
I think so. Yeah.
Go to strandreleasing.com.
Oh, there you go.
Strandreleasing.com can for sure get you a DVD, but I think you could stream it on a million places.
But I want that commentary.
Yeah, you got to get the commentary.
I want that commentary. You stream on Apple, that'll give you those.
No.
That's why you need that physical media.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's going for $25, $30. There's a $70 one on eBay.
Man, I might have some copies around. Let me see about that.
$112.
What?
People, yeah. Free delivery, local in the United States.
I love that.
Oh, this is a Blu-ray.
Oh, Blu-ray. Yeah,
So it's probably got
on
all
there
the
too.
same.
That's
Yeah,
got the commentary for
yeah,
sure.
newly remastered. Okay.
Yeah, and we had to for the DVD. I remember we had to do a lot of extra work to cover where Amy was taped up in that scene where she runs away from the camera, because you could kind of see the tape. So there was they were Strand was complaining that I spent too much time, and because there was you fix the colors and all that stuff because it's not the same as the film, so you have to sit there and literally scene by scene look how everything looks.
Okay.
And we went over budget, but it wasn't because I was fussy. It's because otherwise you would have seen it wouldn't have been as fleshy as Mr. Skin's fans expect it to be.
I mean, you gotta please the people that are coming to your movie.
Yes.
Okay. All right. I'm just gonna do a check really quickly if what we got going on the Strand releasing site.
Oh yeah, that's always good. They have Boys Life too, I'm pretty sure.
Mm-hmm.
There it is. Let's see.
So what movies have you guys decided after all these 8 seasons? And by the way, I heard you talk about is it really the 8th season? Was there season 0?
Yeah.
I remember the whole millennium stuff where it's no, it's not really the millennium. Here's my attitude.
Yeah.
At the very, very beginning, you have one 99-year, century.
Period,
and then all the rest are 100. That's just a simple way to solve that problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, this is for us
because I don't really want to think about it that much.
It's not that important.
I'd rather try and figure out the date line. That's a whole other thing.
I mean, hey, listen.
That's an X lyric. She gets confused crossing over the date line. It's X Los Angeles, their first album.
Good old Exene.
Exene.
Yeah. Oh man. They used to play the shit out of that song on K-Rock.
Oh yeah. Well, it's a great album.
Yeah, it's a great album.
I got to meet Exene actually through Los Straitjackets, who are in Pyscho Beach Party.
There you go.
They had they were playing some gig right at the time of the movie, and I went to this thing, and Exene was there, and I got to meet her and hang out with her, and she was so lovely.
I love that.
Everything you would want her to be.
Yeah, yeah. So were you gonna ask what movies made us gay?
Yes.
I always go back to. I have that in my notes for you, but maybe we'll start. It's been a while. I always go back to Kurt Russell and Overboard.
Oh my God.
Kurt Russell and Overboard when
so
he's standing next to the closet and he's grabbing his tank and Goldie is talking to him and he's standing next to the closet, that's always the movie that made me gay. Overboard.
My dad was a Disney executive, and he wrote a sequel to the computer wore tennis shoes called Now You See Him, Now You Don't.
Okay.
I think he has story credit, but he wrote it as a screenplay. And I always thought Kurt Russell was very... Although what was worse than that was I went to the premiere on the Disney lot of... what's Jan Michael Vincent's first movie?
Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
Jan Michael Vincent.
It's a Disney movie where he's in a loincloth. The
Oh,
whole
okay.
movie. World's Greatest Athlete, I think it is, or
Sure.
something like that.
Yeah.
And I was very hot for him at that premiere. I don't know how old I was, but it was like right around the time all that stuff is waking up.
Yeah.
And yeah.
I mean, for me, like, I think watching Superman as a little kid and seeing Christopher Reeve in the little red trunks definitely helped. But I mean, there was just something about like 11-year-old me. I just really wanted to be Bette Midler very badly.
And now you are.
Would pass off all of your favorite Bet quotes.
I mean,
on the playground.
Have you had Bruce Valanche on the show?
No, I would love to have
He's the
Bruce
greatest.
Valanche,
You want to
though.
hear stories,
Yeah.
man. He's got the greatest stories.
Oh,
Oh my
yeah,
God.
absolutely.
Like, it does not end.
Yeah. But I mean, I don't think that Big Business starring Bette Midler and Lily Tomlin was really aimed at middle school boys.
Yeah.
But
That's where it landed?
That's where it landed. I watched the shit out of it. I wanted to be Rose and Sadie. I just
It's
thought,
interesting that yours is identity.
Yeah.
That's Pete. Pete's he's like has a gay identity.
Yeah.
When it comes to Scott, he just wants a boner. That's how
Yeah.
he knows he's gay.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
I always just go back to Kurt and that muscle tank.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But also Goldie is
listen,
so much fun in that movie
Goldie
too.
is very fun
Yeah.
in that movie.
Goldie's amazing.
Yeah, yeah.
Bob, what about you? What are some movies that make you
I was
gay?
thinking
That's my
about
last question
it.
that I have.
Like I remember watching Lifeguard with like, you know, and like Parker Stevenson.
Yeah.
And
We've done a Lifeguard episode. I was
Yeah,
telling
we
you.
covered-
I gotta watch
We had Love
it
Connie
again.
on.
I gotta watch it. Wait, does it hold up? I don't care if it holds up. I just want to see it.
Yeah, I mean, just watch it.
It's like
It's
a real
vibe.
70s movie, right?
Super
it just
70s,
has little
yeah.
like loose ends and stuff.
Yeah.
And I love those movies.
I think the Gen Z attitude of rejecting hustle culture kind of translates to Lifeguard. I think I remember us talking about that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
hustle culture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Meaning
Just kind of-
prostitution.
No. Like always hustling for a job. Like always just like I gotta grind and I gotta
Work.
have a side
Yeah.
hustle and I gotta
Are they for it or against it?
against it.
Okay.
They're just like fuck the grind.
Yeah.
They're
fuck-
like 60s. They're
Yeah,
like counterculture.
Yeah, kind of. When it comes to,
But they're just
when
doing
it
their
comes to work.
scroll, right? They're
Yeah.
not actually
Yeah.
like
not
changing
for,
the world.
Yeah, not for any bigger
No offense
purpose.
to all Gen Zs.
No, yeah,
Yeah.
We don't have any listeners.
But I mean, I grew up like my grandmother would say like, let's drive down Sunset and look at the hippies, and like there was like Filthy McNasties was
Yeah.
like awash with people in bell bottoms and no shoes.
Yeah. But no, I mean, Lifeguard. It's a vibe. There's some
Sam driving without shoes on.
there's some questionable stuff in there with what's her name's age, but
Ann Archer.
Oh yeah.
I love Ann Archer. But too,
No,
too
it's
young or
not.
too
It's not.
old?
Not Ann
It's not Anna
Archer.
Archer. It's from. She's from Apollo 13.
There's another.
Oh, Kim. I know that girl. Yeah. That's right. He likes a young.
She's
well,
awesome.
yeah.
Kathleen Quinlan.
Kathleen Quinlan.
Yeah.
That was totally fine back then.
I know,
She
that's
was
the thing.
adorable, Kathleen Quinlan. I
That's the
forgot she
thing.
was in that.
Yeah, she
yeah,
sure
yeah,
is.
yeah. So that, but I also grew up watching, movies of the 30s and 40s. I just
Sure.
love those movies.
Yeah.
And always identifying with the female character, I think. And that, people talk about like the death of romantic comedies. Like those are romantic. Like if you want to
Right.
bring back romantic comedies, like those are the kind of romantic comedies I would love to bring back. I
Yeah.
would love to make gay maybe or whatever. Like I just love those,
The old Howard Hawks movies.
Yes.
Yeah.
The Awful Truth, the Lady Eve. None of those are Howard Hawks movies, but the Lady Eve, all the Barbara Stanwyck movies where people say, quote Mae West, I guess, at one time said like people blame her for the Hays Code, but really it was those trashy Barbara Stanwyck movies.
Sure.
And when you see them, Night Nurse, Diamond Lil, like I think movies always reflect the morality of the time that they're made.
Yeah.
And there must have been some crazy morality going on in the early 30s because they are just so incredibly trashy.
Yeah.
And really like modern. They feel really modern in that sense. And then the Hays Code, sort of imposed a kind of morality, but I still think that's really true. I love Red Dust. I wanted to be molested by Clark Gable, like not molested, but when
Ravage.
when what's her name finally kisses him and he says we shouldn't have done that, and she goes, but we did.
I mean, this has all been very illuminating.
Yeah, you guys are awesome, and it's really fun to revisit this work of art from 25 years ago that we had so much fun making, and I'm really pleased that people still want to see it.
Absolutely.
So, hooray.
Yes, yes, indeed. Thank you so much for joining us.
It has been my sincere delight.
It has been a pleasure. We will keep in mind Boo 92 for,
I want to do a 1930s screwball comedy with you.
Please.
I want you to come back on.
Think of a movie that you want to review.
Because I did offer that we can either do a complete Pyscho Beach Party episode or just kind of a movie that you really love.
Talk about a movie you love.
And I realized I would have to work to do that. And so
that's okay for next time.
But I'll work. You guys are fun. I'll work
and
be well-versed on something other than myself.
All right. Well, like I said, it was a pleasure to have you on, and we can't wait to do it again for a different movie for us to review. But until then, listeners, do not go anywhere. There's a little bit more show coming your way, and we'll be right back.
Welcome back, listeners.
Welcome back. I think it's that time.
Big thanks to Bob King. If you haven't checked it out, go watch Pyscho Beach Party. It's just sitting on Tubi. Go watch it. It's great.
Yeah, absolutely. We got a lot, like we said, we got a lot of great response when we posted that we're going to review this movie. And Bob, that was a wonderful guest. Thank you so much once again for coming on. But I think right now we're going to take a trip back
to the Weekly Rewind.
Right here.
Very special season 8 premiere of the Weekly Rewind because we have breaking news. We have our top model correspondent here. Welcome to the show, Garrett Mitchell. You were on a few months ago for our little Patreon episode of Cycle 6, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm. The infamous CoverGirl commercial, the wonderful, fabulous CoverGirl commercial.
I mean, where is Jade? Get her on the traders today.
Right. Where's she stomping? The biracial butterfly flew away.
I know. I know. She's just hanging out with her very ethnic-looking white mother. What did she wasn't ethnic-looking. I'm sorry. It was.
I think she described her mother as being a very exotic-looking
white woman. There you go. She's hanging out with her exotic.
All right.
I think she was a sound dealer or something.
It's been a very big week in the top model fandom because Reality Check Inside America's Next Top Model just came out on Netflix. When this trailer dropped, we were in Scotland, and Garrett, you were the very first person who I messaged when we saw the trailer for this.
The amount of homosexuals who messaged me asking me about, am I throwing a viewing party? Am I going to be holding a seance for all our fallen model comrades? I think was no less than 15. And, it's good to be thought of. But having seen the documentary, I don't know if I want to be associated.
I mean, okay, listen, right off the bat, the title of this is Reality Check: Inside America's Next Top Model. And on Netflix, I know this is probably just an application thing because there are multiple episodes. It does say season 1.
So is Reality Check sort of a series that they're going to be doing?
Right. Are they going to go inside of more, shows with this Reality Check banner, right? I hope so.
That's what I'm imagining it is too. And I think that's why it's such a truncated series order. It's only 3 parts and it feels like you could have had so many more for just Top Model.
Absolutely. So I'm waiting for them to pull the curtain back behind Top Chef and that Tom Colicchio can get his comeuppance once and for all. But
that's Tim Gunn.
Listen, I mean
they would have a lot to talk about for a Project Runway one with all of the Weinstein connections and what happened with Jay, Carol, and like the winner of season 1. It was a whole thing.
Right. But, you know, with this series, Inside America's Next Top Model, like you said, 3 episodes, and I felt like episode 1 really played out like we're recapping season 1.
It's the recap episode of a reality show.
But then episodes 2 and 3 just kind of everything just got thrown in there.
Yeah, I'd say that this 3-episode series really honed in on the fact that the series peaks around season 6.
Right.
Anything that happens after that, you may see some clips of like outrageous runway shows, but ultimately it just is kind of a footnote. We kind of cap off with the discussion around the teeth and the dental surgeries that happened. But there's like a lot of emphasis on the pre-production and the output of season 1, cycle 1, and season 2, especially.
Right.
There are plenty of controversies that happen throughout the series run that have only been briefly mentioned that were not even touched on.
Oh, absolutely.
You mentioned Danny's accent that they don't talk about.
Right. You know, everybody's very up in arms, as we should be, about the closing of the tooth gap. And, you know, when they do talk about later on in cycles later, a girl was asked to widen her tooth gap. And I don't remember that. We were like checked out by the time the girl widened her tooth gap. But I feel like they did not even mention the fact that Tyra told her to her face, you're not going to get any bookings talking the way you talk. And you need to fix that too. And I think that that's just as kind of crazy as everything else. So, yeah, you know, Kenya in Africa, that's season 4. That's Naima's cycle where she won. I believe that's cycle 4 because Eva was cycle 3. And yeah, Danny cycle 5?
Danny was cycle 6.
Cycle 6. Okay.
It's the one that we talked about.
Sure. Okay. So yeah, you're right. Those early cycles were definitely the real meat and potatoes of this show. But yeah, as it went on after that, I mean, we watched, but you know.
Right. I mean, simply the revoke, how the team revoked Angelie's win and prizes for All-Stars in cycle 17 is something that could have been an episode into itself.
Well, or its own segment. Yeah.
That's the focus of not the focus, but that's one of the focuses of the Vice doc. That's because they got Lisa.
Did you watch? So you watched the Vice doc then?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I missed that one. How about you?
They got Lisa D'Amato and they talked.
I watched it. Lisa's also going to be involved in an documentary called Dirty Rotten Scandals, along with Janice. I believe Kenya's also in it.
Okay.
And it seems to have more buy-in from more aggrieved parties who have been very vocal in the current timeline and in the past. I think Lisa has always had an issue with Tyra before All-Stars, and she's continued to have it. So I'm glad that there's different opportunities to allow people to have their voices be heard.
No, you're absolutely right. I do want to talk about not only the trench coat, but Tyra's entire segments, right, as a whole. You were talking before we started recording about Tyra's really been pushing this kind of same story for 25, 30 years. And, you know, similarly, we were having a gay YouTube video watch party night alone, the two of us drinking wine and watching videos. And RuPaul's Supermodel, parenthetical, you better work.
Yeah, it was for our last Patreon episode.
Yeah. And we were talking about the same thing. Ru's been pushing the same narrative. And so it's like when you really go back, like Everybody Say Love and all these, it's all there from the very beginning. And it's kind of like you were mentioning, it's kind of there with Tyra too. Like, we shouldn't be surprised at the crazy that comes out of her mouth.
Yeah. How much, like, what were we really expecting that she would give us from this sit down?
I didn't really have high hopes for anything that she would necessarily say or what Jay Manuel has said, because he's been very vocal in the press with his book, The Wig, the Bitch, and the Meltdown, which I read cover to cover within 3 hours, self-published, and you can tell.
Oh, boy. Not self-published.
But Tyra specifically seems to have been frozen in amber around 2003.
Yeah.
She has been on message about saying she started this show because she wanted to expand the definition of beauty for modeling and recruit women who were not necessarily the ideal shape, race, upbringing and means, who would then be catapulted into learning how to become a model. But she's not the prime of Miss Jean Brodie. This is not a finishing school. This is worse.
To which I say, I was there.
From cycle 1.
I was there when the deep magic was first spoken, and I didn't get that.
It would take them cycles for them to get plus size girls on.
Or they would get plus size girls on that they would say, oh, she would work in the and you're like, what the fuck are they talking about? I don't think that it was apparent to viewers that they were going for the unconventional beauty.
Right.
Not until they were going for those seasons of and now we're doing the short girl season, and now we're doing the whatever. I didn't get that.
I think with Tyra, she wants to have it both ways also.
Yes.
You can't say I didn't have ownership over the story. I was just a host. I am the face of this, but I have an executive producer credit, and it has always been said that I have way more involvement in the editing bay and within the creative of the show than I would appear.
Right.
Because she wanted to subvert this expectation that models are dumb, that they aren't go-getters, and she's been very entrepreneurial throughout this show. Yeah. So she's kind of dampening her own lore by saying that she wipes her hands clean of the edit.
Right. Because in all of Tyra's ventures outside of Top Model, I'm talking Shake Your Body, music video, the talk show.
The short-lived acting career right before
But all of
Top
these
Model.
things have been worked into the show. So it's like, okay. Now listen, when it comes to, maybe we didn't use your best foot. This is a television show. This is a reality show. It's being produced. We get it. So things like that are put on there for, drama purposes. But there's something about this show as opposed to like a RuPaul's Drag Race where, I don't know, because it's Drag Races on a stage and I don't know, there's something about it that we get the theatricality of
You don't see them outside of filming at the soundstage for Drag Race.
Yeah.
You don't see them at the hotel.
I think at least for us, we're able to kind of let the riggery kind of go. Whereas on Top Model, it seems to the viewer so air quotes verite, right?
Right.
That stuff seems like evil when they do that kind of stuff. It seems so mean-spirited.
And with Drag Race, which has taken so many pages out of Top Model's book, that is recruiting from a pool of professionals who make a living or are doing this part-time. They have seasoned themselves. Yeah. Nobody goes there in order to become a drag queen.
Right. Except if
this was a show that was about becoming a model.
Except if you're Shangela.
Which is why she had to do it numerous times.
3 months. No, you're right. These girls were literally plucked from obscurity, from Walgreens,
Dairy Queen.
Yeah. I can't go back to my life, all that stuff. And you're right. The Drag Race girls do have that kind of at least they've got a club to go back to.
Yeah.
Afterwards.
I think also something that this current fervor over Tyra, the things that she said, I am curious over the years, a lot of it has become memes. A lot of it has become things that she didn't say, such as, is keeping your baby worth more than your modeling career?
Right.
Or when 9/11 happened, I was still out there modeling and I made it fierce. I think that some of these things have trickled down into the mythology of her critiques in particular. But when it comes to size, I will say that she always seemed like an advocate on the show because she was the hero of her own show.
Yeah. Right.
Against Janice, who represented the old guard, who would cry and throw tantrums over someone's hip size.
Right.
This is something that she had control over in order to make herself be mama. You know, she often referred to herself as a motherly figure, or invoked her own mother onto the contestants to create this familial bond with them.
Yeah, her trotting out her mom like more than once did always feel a little like, all right, here we go. I'm just so fascinated at like we were saying, how she did use this as like a catapult for her own endeavors, and how successful or not they were. It was like, well, we forgot that she wanted to become a pop star.
We forgot about her short-lived YA series.
Model Land, R.I.P.
The pop-up Model Land
experience
at in Santa Monica.
Yeah. I mean, speaking of the crazy ventures, we will get into hot ice cream.
Please. I've had some ice cream.
You tried some ice cream?
Yes. That's what it was called then. I believe now it's called Smize and Dream.
Right. But they are no longer legally allowed to refer to it as hot ice cream.
Oh, okay. Yeah. There's a lot of things that happened in the most recent years. We banished her to the other side of the world. She's currently in Australia.
Much like a felon.
Crazy.
She's in a penal colony for all that we know. And shilling ice cream to mall goers in Sydney.
Yeah.
We were wondering, was her backers just in Australia? And is that how all of that worked out?
I think that she... I'm not sure. I know that one of her partners, I believe the partner that she had a child with, was Australian. And so I think and it would make sense to be down there, I guess. But she's been there for a couple years.
Okay. Yeah, but I did recently read, and this apparently is an Australian publication, or abc.net.au. Don't expect to see it called that anymore, hot ice cream, because there's some, standards and practices of what you can legally call, because it's a food product, right?
Right.
And what constitutes ice cream, and this is not it. So, yeah, they went to hot Smize cream, and now it's Smize and Dream. And I guess at each location, because they are doing pop-ups in New York right now, there's multiple flavors of regular ice cream, but there's only one flavor of hot Smize cream.
Yeah.
And I guess it changes because the one in Australia is the Tyra's favorite, which is just like a turtle.
This is the type of bullshit that would be at Hollywood and Highland.
Oh, 1,000%.
Is there any spaces to rent in Hollywood and Highland?
And then one day we go and we like bring somebody on who's on vacation. We're going to go get this hot ice cream bullshit. And we walk in, boarded up. Just completely gone.
Tumbleweeds.
Yeah, no to zero fanfare.
Just a sign on the floor that says fierce.
Yeah, like etched into the concrete. But this is just part of this crazy sales person that Tyra is, right? Just the way she can go on TikTok and tell you this insane, completely bullshit made up story about experimenting in her apartment kitchen, quote, parentheses, microwaving ice cream, right? To come up with this idea. And she 1,000% believes in it. And she's got the crazy look in her eyes. She's got the Mary Lou Henner crazy eyes. And she's just selling it to you. And I guess that's just Tyra's brand.
I believe that she believes what she's saying.
Yes, she does.
In both her TikToks and in this documentary, where she is she will apologize to an extent.
Right.
She will admit culpability for photo shoots to an extent, under the guise of, my definition of beauty meant that I wanted to show all different types of beauties. So I decided that it would be appropriate to put these models in blackface, not once, but twice.
Yeah. The different standards of beauty thing kind of aligns with Tyra's story, because once she hit a certain age, her body started going in a certain direction, and not by any means was she plus size or bigger or anything, but by high fashion runway standards,
she couldn't do runway shows anymore.
She wasn't going to book any more gigs. So she went Sports Illustrated, Victoria's Secret.
And I think that also is a big part of why there's some issues with this show in its inception. Of the title alone is insinuating that this will become a household name in front of the camera. The thing, though, is that these agencies that signed up to sponsor the winner, oftentimes they didn't want to be associated with them due to the reality TV stigma stink around them. Designers wouldn't hire them because of their affiliation on TV and the clownery that Tyra would engage in. The doors were often shut. There have been many, I will say, from a TV show like American Idol, who later became household names if they didn't win. Top Model, there's a handful, I would say, who really broke into those inner circles of high fashion. And then there's many who worked in catalogs and commercials who still work today. But I think that the promise of this will jumpstart a career, it never really was fulfilled because so many of those people were already too short to be on the boards of those agencies. Right. They didn't have plus size divisions back then or curve divisions. And they were not the look of the era, which was predominantly still white. Yeah. And it was the Eastern European Slavic look that was really ruling the runways for the majority of the show's apex. And I think Tyra, in some ways, broke some barriers of inclusion. We've seen it in different campaigns, like inspiration from shoots with like Skims or Fenty Beauty. But ultimately, the legacy for the millennials has been rather tainted if they ever upheld it. And for Gen Z, I think it's just dead in the water.
Yeah. It would have been interesting to hear what the conversation was with Danny, because from what I got out of it, of this exchange that she had with Danny, was I always knew it was going to be hard for you, and there was really nothing I could do, which, is that really the truth?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And Danny's fortunate in the sense that she got her CoverGirl contract renewed. She's one of the few winners who ever did. But if that's the only gig that you're getting, I don't think that necessarily is a long-standing career. The Danny in particular is pretty incensed, and rightfully so, about her treatment from Tyra post-show.
Yeah.
And she was expecting mentorship and somebody who had, once again, claimed to have been a maternal mentor in the show, but then kind of just stopped engaging. And she really said something that stuck with me of, you saw me suffering and you didn't do anything about it.
Yeah.
I do wonder, though, for Tyra, I think this eventually just became a job. For these girls, this was a life-changing opportunity in their minds, but for Tyra, this was a job.
Yeah. And, you know, it's so interesting, especially today when you watch elimination-based reality shows, there's a prize package, you know, and the prize package on America's Next Top Model was always a contract with Elite Model Management and the photo shoot with Gilles Ben-Simon. And it was always worth $100,000. They never got a prize, like prize money.
Sure.
They never like, you know, like at least I could take my $100,000 less my 40%, you know, prize tax and buy my mom a car.
$100,000 is if you were really successful and booked every single job that you were offered then.
Probably. Like what you could make in a year.
Which was never going to happen.
Being an elite model, I guess. I don't know.
I mean, even Adrienne, she didn't win all of her prizes. And that was a big stink. And that's why she had to turn to different means of employment with reality TV. And then she did 2 Playboy covers. And I think Tyra always found that irksome. She was a thorn in Tyra's side for many years.
I mean, a lot of Rue girls talk about not getting prizes. that they were either won on mini challenges or main prizes from the initial prize package. So I think that's something that, with everybody involved in making a television show, it's like, who do you go to?
There's not like a secretary at WoW that's going to be keeping track of all of this.
Did you get your latex gown from latexgowns.com or whatever? Like,
I also think that there is probably a considerable more amount of aftercare versus what there was in 2003.
Yeah.
I think today, if this show were to have debuted today, I think these girls could have had a platform to at least have become influencers.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so that way they could have had something. If modeling didn't work out seriously for them. But even these days, it seems like certain castings, you have to have an X amount of followers, and being on reality TV would incentivize a brand.
Yeah.
If people from Love Island are getting L'Oreal campaigns, or Summer House and Housewives are getting L'Oreal campaigns, why can't someone who is trying to be a model?
Yeah.
I think the industry just didn't want to be told this is who we've christened as this person, as this title, when they probably just felt we don't need Tyra Banks, of all people, to tell us who to hire.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so interesting. That's something that the guys and girls season or cycle tried to do. I mean, to various results. Niall DeMarco is very successful. Won Dancing with the Stars. A lot of the guys from Guys and Girls have very successful social media accounts, but I don't know.
Yeah. I want to pivot a little bit to Mr. J. Manuel. A little bit of Nigel. I feel like Mr. J kind of towed the line of like, yes, I get it. Yes, there was some bad stuff going on. But also, like, when they asked him about Shandy in particular, it was pretty evasive to me. It was pretty like, yes, that was bad, but I don't know. I didn't really get an answer from him about that.
He was more forthcoming on Sherry Shepherd's talk show that we just watched.
Right. Well, now after the fact.
Now
after
the
that
fact,
he's seen it,
Yeah, I think Jay often, he seems to be, I mean, during the pandemic, he was hosting lives called Jay's Chat, where he would interview cycle by cycle contestants were Miss J. And it seems like he wants to just throw nuggets out, but never really does say exactly what he thinks or exactly what is worth saying. He mentions how he wanted to quit after cycle 8. And he lost some semblance of creative control, and his relationship with Tyra was fraught. And we never really get a real reason for their fallout. However, he stayed on for 10 more cycles.
That's what we were saying too.
It's like, what happened to I wanted to quit? They forced me to stay for one more cycle.
And
then he gets fired 8 cycles later, 10 cycles later. That was odd to me. I mean, it seemed to me like the fallout was, I don't want to do this anymore. And Tyra's, I am disappointed email, which, oh my God.
Honestly.
Oh my God.
Legendary. That's like a Faye Dunaway email.
Sent 3 days later.
God.
Right.
Insane to me. And yeah, I think one of the biggest tells for Tyra through this whole thing was, can we talk about Mr. J? No.
Yeah. I'm going to give you nothing.
And she has this like almost wondrous expression. And she goes,
not yet.
Jay, not yet. I should call him.
Yeah.
And like, ma'am, you could have called him all this time. I think they got fired in like what, 2013 or
when
something?
They brought in
like,
Kelly. So that's when they brought in Kelly Catrone and Johnny Wujak and Rita Ora and all that. Is that what's
Rob Evans, Johnny Wujak, Brian Boy, the social media aspect of the show, Kelly Catrone.
Okay, but Tyra did do a season with all of them, didn't she? Before it went to Rita?
I think that it was, because they had done UK Invasion, College Season.
Oh, boy.
And what other
Men. After that, it was Men.
The Guys and Girls.
21 and 22.
Yeah.
And then it got rebooted for 23 on VH1 with Rita. Then Tyra came back for a final. And Tyra threatens us with the 25th cycle, which
Yeah.
Read
I
the
have a
room.
list of changes that can be done.
You're ready to be signed on as an exec
Call
producer.
me now.
All that, and she still comes out with, you cannot wait to see what we have in store for Cycle 25, is psychotic.
Yeah.
Psychotic. She is.
I'm sorry. I was so entertained by that. I think that her digging her heels and saying, you have no idea what's in store. And all throughout social media, everybody's just saying, are you going to kill them on air? Like, I can only imagine what it would be like, but I am curious. What does actual atonement for Tyra Banks look like in the eyes of the public? And because this documentary really didn't assist her cause, I think it pushed her back significantly. I think had she not appeared, it would have been better for her.
Yeah, maybe. Oh my gosh. But I feel like it would have been a big kind of letdown for everyone to sit back and watch this 3-episode doc. And she's not in it at all.
And to see text of Tyra Banks was reached out to participate in this documentary, and she declined.
And they wouldn't have been able to use any of the footage, probably, right?
Yeah.
Like, this uses so much B-roll from all of the seasons to discuss it. And I think something in particular that the viewers of this documentary really are speaking about is the treatment of Shandy and the edit of Shandy from Cycle 2 when they were in Milan. And there are a bunch of male models who come over one night, and there is a drunken hookup in the framing of the show.
Yeah.
It is the episode is called "The Girl Who Cheated." However, in retrospect, she clearly cannot consent.
Yeah.
In that moment, it's explained that she had 2 glasses of wine or 2 bottles of wine on an empty stomach, and the producers took a documentarian-like approach to this by not intervening.
Ken came off pretty smug when being asked about that.
Something like this.
He's the ultimate big bad in all of this for me.
Something similar happened on Bachelor in Paradise, and it led to a huge shakeup with that franchise.
That's why on Bachelor you can only have maybe 2 drinks.
Yeah,
and you're capped.
They've completely capped that. But that was less than 10 years ago. That was right before the pandemic, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
When that happened?
Yeah, I think so.
And there's been a whole discussion about, I think, with Bethany Frankel, especially doing the reality reckoning with Bravo. But this in particular, I think a lot of contestants have mentioned the starving of the models, which then caused them to faint or get ill. And the $40 per diem that they were given as an allowance for food expenses only, and that they don't get any sort of compensation after the fact that this has been played time in memoriam. But I think that issue of royalties is something that is spread across all shows in this space, not just Top Model.
Right.
Especially
streaming.
Yeah. But I'm not sure what I thought it was interesting, the framing of, we edited so much out of the Shandy episode due to Janet Jackson's scandal.
Yeah. That's crazy.
And the angle that I wish they had pushed a little bit more was the higher ups. Tyra keeps talking about there are no sacred cows, and that's why I had to fire my 3 hearts, Mr. J, Miss J, and Nigel. And then I was the ultimate sacred cow when I was given my walking papers. Who are all of these people making these decisions? She name drops Les Moonves, who notable CBS head who was ousted in the Me Too movement. And he didn't want to cast a Latina in the first season, to which Tyra apparently was ready to go to blows. I think that the politics of the networks of UPN and the CW especially are interesting to see what budget the show had and the timeline that each cycle had, because they were doing 2 a year.
Yeah, that was crazy. That was kind of pioneering the 2 seasons per year of these reality shows. Briefly, I want to talk about Kenya and her segments. I kind of love the fact that she took, not only in the episode way back when, but in this documentary, every opportunity she could, she said that man's name. And it is not difficult to Google male model Bertini, America's Next Top Model, to find this man.
Yeah.
You know, find this man and be like, that's the guy who, you know, put his hands on Kenya in that photo shoot. And I think that was very intentional of her. She said his name like 4 or 5 times. And I was like, you better fucking work, because you're doing the internet's job for them. And I love that. But I don't, in all of the threads and, you know, X kind of posts and funny things that I've seen about this series, I haven't really seen anybody going and looking for Bertini to give him his comeuppance. So maybe we need to get that started right here, right now. But I thought that was very intentional and of Kenya, and I like that.
She also had a great point where she said, when I went out into the real world with the portfolio the show gave me, I couldn't use a single photo.
That's crazy.
They were too stylized and too over the top. It did not demonstrate her potential, because how really can you demonstrate your potential when you're portraying gluttony in a coffin 6 feet under, or then made up to be an elephant atop a sedated crocodile holding a bottle of Lubriderm?
Yeah. Yeah, I know. Yeah. Oh my gosh, too much. That was riggery. And that's something where, you know, I guess if they do pick not your best photo, that is your book. That's your lookbook.
Yeah, because it's not like they're going to be giving her a handful of photos.
Her
from
proofs.
That. Yeah, her proofs.
Yeah.
Right. I think another voice that would have been important to have in this would have been the sponsors, these agents, these cover girl.
Yeah.
Like, somebody had to have had pre-selects of who they wanted in the cast of, we could use this number of contestants as potential spokespeople based off of their look or based off of their potential, I guess. But that's an element that has always been speculated, is if the prizes chose the ultimate winner. Janice Dickinson has said as much.
Yeah. Right. They're not. Yeah.
I've heard all of that from Janice.
That's something that we would definitely hear. I mean, we could probably go on talking about.
We could fill an entire podcast season,
full episode
of all of this. But I mean, kind of last reflections. It was really nice to catch up with all of the girls who were asked to participate. And I get, maybe for story purposes of this type of a documentary, you really kind of have to limit it to all of the talking heads have to be the story points of what they're going to hit. So it was nice to see all of them.
Right.
Now,
especially Danny and Joni. We spoke
Danny,
about how much
face.
I adored them in that season, and Miss J. I think that show was very influential to young gay people, to see queer people, to see themselves on screen, like, for 18 seasons straight, to see different types of representation, and to see you can be just as flamboyant and colorful and loud as you can be, and be celebrated for that. And to see the state that Miss J currently finds herself in is something that is, and the community that Jay still has with Jay Manuel and Nigel Barker is kind of heartwarming a little bit.
It was nice to see them catch up at the end.
Yeah, that was a nice catch up, because Miss J can no longer walk as of now. Yeah. And after all those years of doing runway coaching, it's so heartbreaking to see. But I really hope the best for him.
The look that Miss J gives when saying she hasn't come to visit me yet. The look.
It's a classic Miss J
It's
look.
a classic Miss J look. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that fiery spark is still there.
You know,
and
as the show was happening, before we get to the big reveal that he's had this massive stroke and he was in a coma and all of that, as it's happening, I was like, I think something happened with Miss J, and I think we're gonna find out. And then we get this reveal, and it's unfortunate, but like you said, it was very nice to see Nigel coming around, and who knows how much of that is gonna continue once the cameras stop rolling. But it was nice to see the three of them together.
And if they are not back for Tyra's proposed cycle 25, shelve it now.
Yeah,
shelve it now.
I don't think any of them are going to be asked to participate.
And I don't think that after the response this has gotten, I do not foresee Tyra's proposal making it past ideation.
Yeah, it'll maybe make it to a pitch meeting, and that's it.
Yeah, I think we're just in an era right now with modeling and social media. Now, they tried the social media aspect, and that was a whole lot of mess.
Epic fail, and I think all of it was staged.
A mess. How do you do real-time social media voting on a pre-taped reality show?
I notably did have one of my Facebook comments read at the panel in cycle 19. I believe it was during a mugshot photo shoot.
Oh, Jesus.
But, I don't necessarily need the voice of the viewers at all.
Yeah.
I think that the way you can move forward with this is potentially that agency that they partner with. You just take their development board and try to get people that way who are already signed. So that way there's really no heartbreak about who can get signed after the show. They're already signed to an agency.
Yeah, I think that would work.
It's been nice the past few days on my Instagram account. Sometimes there'll be just accounts that just show up and they say to follow them. I've been getting all of the top model girls that I don't follow. I'm like, oh, look, there's Yolanda. Here's like
I hope they get all the sponsorship deals their heart desires now.
I just watched a little catch up with Sophie from British Invasion, and she talked about what exactly happens when you win. You should go check out her Instagram video where she talks about just sort of the scary reality of when they say you are America's Next Top Model and what exactly happens. The mere hours after.
You are forced into a photo studio with Tyra to shoot 5 photos. And she must look better than you in every single one.
Oh my gosh. I'm just reading up, I guess, Eva, winner of Cycle 3, Eva Marcel, did an interview with CBS this morning, and she's very complimentary to Tyra, from what I'm gathering. Not just to Tyra, but just, I think she's just very much like, I kind of do owe my career to this show, which,
And she has a very different trajectory than many of them. She was signed with Benny Medina, who at that point was Tyra's manager. So I think Tyra did take her under her wing. But there's also there's so many successes from that season with Yaya DaCosta and Takara Jones, and even Ann Markley, who was raked across the coals for her lack of passion, has been a consistent model. I did see that Paulina responded to an Instagram comment asking if she'd watched the documentary. She said, I haven't, and I don't intend to. Quote, I'm sure they used my audio in some very unflattering ways to disperse the communal guilt. End quote.
Oh my God.
I miss her.
Whenever I remember Paulina had something that she said when she was on Drag Race of this show is so much more fun than Tyra. So I do kind of wonder if I bet those two probably didn't really like each other.
Oh yeah. I don't. Paulina was on Craig Ferguson after the fact. It was announced that she was fired. And the way that it was framed to her was that they were trimming the fat. So.
Oh my God. And it always seemed like Paulina she wasn't as innocent, if you will, as Twiggy, But
she wanted
wasn't-
to see them succeed.
She wasn't as harsh
Yeah.
as Janice, obviously.
Right.
So it's like I feel
And
like
she wasn't a nightmare like Kelly Catrone.
right. So I felt like she was a good kind of
She would
voice
give them. She
in
would give
there.
them tough love when they needed it.
Yeah. So it was interesting that she just has such things to say about it because at least the way she was portrayed from a viewing standpoint, I think she always came off pretty good. Twiggy, of course, is the one that
She was the Paula.
She was the Paula. There had to be somebody.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I wonder going forward, what is the legacy of this show? Is this just an archive? Should we throw it into the sea and never think about it again? Is it a cautionary tale? And I think that all depends does this keep going in perpetuity? Does Top Model keep living somehow?
Well, I at least hope that they still keep it on free streaming sites that you can still watch all of these episodes.
Will there be like with certain Mad Men episodes, like a warning that these episodes reflect the times of the era in which they were made? But I also don't think that's a valid excuse either. So reality is just so fraught with these edits and with these poorly dated tropes, because much like Smy's cream, it expires.
I mean, Hulu pulled all those. Not Hulu. Peacock pulled all those 30 Rock episodes.
Yeah,
all those.
The Oprah episode's no longer there.
Two episodes, I think, because of blackface. So I don't know what's current. What is it currently on Prime?
You can find it on Disney Plus / Hulu. Certain seasons, you can still buy seasons on Amazon and iTunes, and I think that there's still like made to order DVDs you can purchase.
Wow.
And if this vanishes off streaming, I'm immediately buying these.
I wonder if Tyra. I wonder if
Physical
Tyra does
media.
commentaries. No.
Oh, I wish.
I don't know about that, but
That would be amazing.
Tyra has to do a Laura Linney in Masterpiece Theater intro for every episode to say, I'm sorry, every time the show starts. And it's not just one catch-all apology every episode. It's an individual video for what she's sorry for in each episode.
Oh my gosh.
That's how we move forward.
I like it. I'm trying to check to see what seasons. It says that 11 seasons are on Hulu.
I was watching Cycle 2 this past year, and I think that it was off of Disney Plus and Hulu.
Okay, yes. Cycle 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 11 through 16.
Oh, 6 isn't there.
I know.
6
I've
through
had
10
to buy it
are
recently.
Not there. Interesting. Well,
all right, we should
there
wrap
it
this up.
is. Yeah, I think we should.
Well, thank you for having me.
We
Always
will have you
love talking
on
about
for
Tyra.
Absolutely
a non-Top Model related episode soon.
Yes.
But thanks for joining us for the
Thank you
weekly
for
rewind,
joining
though.
us.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Until next time, we'll see you there. Listeners, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back again. Welcome back, everyone. Thank you for sticking around.
What a premiere.
For this premiere. This has been a lot of fun. I mean, like we said, listen, if Smize and Dream ever does have LA West Coast,
We have to do
shops
like a live podcast episode and go there.
to taste. It's not hot chocolate. It's not flavored milk.
It's not a milkshake.
It's not a hot milkshake. It's not melted ice. Girl, what is it? She's telling us what it isn't. It's not creme anglaise. All right, Tyra Banks. I'm trying the goddamn hot Smize cream. But until then, I think it's time right about now.
It's time for the Patreon shout outs.
Time for some Patreon shout outs. All right, we want to say a great big thank you and hello to all of our wonderful patrons. Thank you for sticking around with us through our little break. And we love you and thank you so much to Lisa, Jonathan, Christine, Jonathan P, Teresa, Robbie B, RP, Callum, Chava, Kitsch Barbie Clubhouse, Ronnie, Matt, Carla, Leah, Megan, Andrew, Stephen, Leah, SB, Brian, Deja, Amy, Erica, Anna, our friends at Hetty, Drew, Andy, Kate, Roberto, Daisy, Kelly, Chrissy, Laura, Garrett, Thomas, Lori, Brenna, Lawrence, Lisa, Alexis, Thomas, Millie, Ted, Benny, Melissa, Susan, Paul, Jamie, Drew, Genevieve, Dawn, Josh, Aaron, Nick and Shannon, Christine, and Rufino. You guys
join the Movies That Made Us Gay Patreon at patreon.com/movies that made us gay and get some awesome bonus content. We have 3 levels of tiers from a thoughtful donation at $1 level. At the $5 level, you'll get the TV shows that keep us gay, where we pick a TV show every month and talk about it. Go check out Garrett's Top Model episode. Yes. It is one of my favorites. And at the top tier, at the $10 level, you will get the Watch With Us commentary, where you can watch a movie with us and we talk about it. So join today, and you will also get a little shout out on the weekly episode.
Yes, indeed. Thank you so much, patrons. All of your donations going to keep this show on the air every Friday, ad-free, almost all year long.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, thank you so much for that. We would love it if you would subscribe and on your podcast listening app and rate and review us. We just got a brand new review over on Apple Podcasts, so maybe I'll read that now. How about it? I posted it on our socials, but I think I'll go ahead and read the latest review from Apple Podcasts, and that goes a little something like this. Let's see. This is from Apple user name withheld 000.
I love that username.
I love it. The title of this review is Fun as Hell. I listen to a lot of movie podcasts, and this is a favorite. The hosts are smart and silly. Thank you. This is the best combo for welcoming brilliant guests. The films that are discussed are diverse and cross all 4 quadrants. I'm discovering films I've never heard of before, and I'm having a blast. Thank you so much for leaving that wonderful and kind review. You can do that by heading over to Apple Podcasts. If you have an iPhone or an iPad, it comes pre-installed. Just search Movies That Made Us Gay and do your thing. Hit 5 stars, write the review. Follow us on our socials. We're most active on Instagram at Movies That Made Us Gay. And you can follow our personal socials if you like. My name is Pete. I'm at Peter Lasagna on Instagram.
Scott Youngballer on Instagram, and follow my letterbox.
Yes, indeed. Thank you so much, everybody. We're back. See you next week.
Bye.
Bye.